Sure. Sure.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to AA Garthwaite Stadium here in lovely downtown Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. We have the Toronto Rush just coming off the field. The captains about to do the coin toss. Toronto, by virtue of a 6-2 record, now leading the AUDL East, having lost only to DC in DC and to Ottawa. But today we're looking for the Philadelphia Phoenix to see if they can get another notch in their belt of the top teams in their division, having won by one last week over the Breeze here at Garthwaite Stadium. Joining me in the booth today, I'm very happy to welcome Chris McGlynn, a former Westfield High School player, played club with Garden State, GSU, and a year with the now defunct MLU New York Rumble.
Yes, no longer with us anymore, MLU. But we're happy to be here with the AUDL, you right?
Yep, and glad to have you in the booth today, Chris, especially on, what was it we gave you, about 25 minutes notice?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. But hey, I'm happy to be here. I always love coming out and watch some Frisbee. It's going to be some high-level stuff out there today. So I'm excited to see how this all goes. And thanks for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. We have just finished the toss. It looks like the Phoenix will be pulling from the downwind end zone.
Decent amount of wind today. We'll have to see how both teams adjust throughout this one. And it's going to be, it's definitely going to be a windy affair.
It is. At least, probably until
later on.
7:30 or so, yeah, halftime or third quarter. It died last week early in the third quarter. We saw the flag just hanging limply, but it's pretty much straight out right now, and the wind is coming sort of from behind the home bleachers, but really to the left of that, up from the eastern end zone. And it is actually the Rush who will be pulling from down there. The Phoenix will take it on to our left as we watch here.
Philadelphia getting a chance to strike first,
which would be nice. We see Paul Klimkowski, Quinn Hunsaker, Will Honey for that Pennsbury connection with Sean Mott bringing up the last of it. And we also have Ryan Forster out there. And that looks like 25, Trey Katzenbach, the old man of the group.
Trey's back, bringing some veteran leadership to this young Phoenix team.
And we were citing him last weekend for the love the grind ethos that he brings out to the field. And it looks like freshman is out there too. Is that Andrew Manganelli?
Yep, Andrew Manganelli, I believe, is the last one on the line over there.
So with the Pennsbury guys, that makes 5 people from Mercer County Ultimate.
Yep.
Who also have some connections playing together.
Absolutely.
Along with Trey and Ryan Forster. This is a savvy and talented offensive roster. You got Forster and Honey out there for length, and Quinn and Sean Mott for speed, and some ups. Sean, even though he is the shortest guy on that line, has pretty ridiculous verticals, as we've seen.
Never doubt Sean Mott in the air. That is a poor decision on any defense's part. There's the first pull. We're just getting underway now.
And going out of bounds at about the 15, where we see Dan Morosky, the far sideline ref, just dropped his hat there. There'll be a brick at the 20, given that it went out deeper than that. Paulie Klimkowski is going to bring it in and center it, with Ryan Forster as his dump and Trey Katzenbach for the left swing. He goes to Ryan first, right up the middle to Sean Mott, who looks deep first.
A lot of double team
and then
here.
Does a nice Blady left-handed flick out to Ryan Forster, right up to Quinn Hunsaker, who fakes the deep pop. Goes instead to Will Honey. Will with a few more turnovers last week than he wanted, being a little more careful. Paulie Klimkowski flaring out wide to Ryan. Forster takes a fake to the near cone, looks back to the middle, and in danger of a stall there.
It's a turnover.
Gets
Toronto.
It stolen. We have Ryan Forster with the...
There was an Ian McKenzie D there running right through on the swing. Brett Tam the disc. Coming across to Remy Ojo. Back up to Tan. Tan laying out to save possession. Mott on him. Back to McKenzie. It's upfield, looking at McKenzie.
Too easy.
It's a
too
quick
easy.
goal for McKenzie, and Toronto breaks to start this one. Not the start the Phoenix are hoping for by any means.
Definitely
It was
not.
a pretty fluid offensive point, though, once Toronto forced the turn.
Yeah.
A lot of running involved. We'll have to definitely keep an eye on how these teams hold up. We were talking a little bit about 18-man roster for Toronto today.
Right.
You know, just under the MLU, excuse me, AUDL. I'm gonna have to get used to that.
That's all right,
Apologize.
Chris. We're gonna
Apologize.
forgive you a
AUDL,
couple of those today.
the AUDL max right there, which is 20. It's definitely gonna be a bit of a challenge with the heat today. It's definitely pushing into the upper 80s today. So the sun beating down, starting to set a little bit, but still beating down on these players.
That's true. It's
Phoenix
one of
looking
the
to receive
nice
again.
things about playing this late is that it is finally getting cooler.
Yes, finally.
By the second half, we're probably going to have a 5 or 6 degree cooler place out there. But the breeze is also nice today. That really makes it easier on the players.
Oh, definitely.
And there we have
That's Casey
that's
Stargell.
Casey Stargell receiving the pull up to Scotty Zhu, flaring it out to Sean Mott,
Who else?
who jumps and catches that even though it
Look at it,
looked like-
Marquez Brownlee.
Ooh, very easy.
Brownlee with the goal. Huge. He got up there. Got up there from Brownlee. Brownlee pulling it in. That's a quick score from Mott to Brownlee.
And that's a combination we saw some of last week, and I think that we're going to see again this week. Here you see the disc coming in, and Marquez a little higher probably than Sean needed to, but as the old saying goes, your job is not to peg the offensive player, but to beat the D.
That is very
as a
true.
thrower. So that throw definitely beat the D, and Sean knew who he had on the other end of it.
Absolutely.
Watching
You don't
Marquez Brownlee.
you don't ever need to worry about the height usually for Marquez. He's
Yeah.
usually more than capable of getting up to snag it.
Yep.
Phoenix D point here. Pull from Greg Martin.
Very nice. Downwind pull right to the goal line. Maybe a little lower than he needed. They only cover the second throw.
Toronto up now looking at Cam Harris. Harris hucking deep with a backhand.
Ooh, and he got him.
Just
Oh.
outside the end zone. Unable to reel it in, though.
A turn for the Phoenix.
That's
Sean
Steve
Mott. Oh, I'm
Armitage.
sorry, Dustin Sullivan. Right on the goal line to Stephen Ing. Centered over to Matt Esser. Popping a flick out deep.
Greg
Oh,
Martin going up to get it.
and fending off the Toronto defender in the process.
Beating Jeffrey Wu there. He's going
And
back
Steve
again. Another
Rosso.
matchup.
Steve Rosso going to Greg Martin for the first goal. Second goal for the Phoenix, I'm sorry. Steve Rosso with the assist to Greg Martin.
Greg Martin doing it all there. Going
Of
deep
course.
twice in 1 point. Beating Wu deep. Score that one. Get the Phoenix up now 2-1. Got to break back for themselves.
Brownlee with the goal from Sean Mott on the first play. So, a 2-1 lead for the Phoenix.
Quick strike there. I'm
Nice
surprised.
switch.
Surprised to see that D punch it in so quickly. A very efficient offense.
It was. And part of that was because they had some guys out there who can go both ways.
Absolutely.
Dustin Sullivan, notably Matt Esser with a lot of experience.
Greg Martin for sure.
Yep, and for the first time out there, we're going to see Mac Rushing, another Pennsbury kid who was on the World's team last year.
Absolutely. Very talented player, Mac Rushing.
Another one with deceptive ups for his diminutive stature.
Oh, for sure. That definitely seems to breed down in Yardley, PA.
Again, Toronto gets to the 20 before they're covered.
Huge huck here, rushing on coverage. We've got Jeff Lindquist tracking it down.
With a big fade and
And
a goal.
that is going to be a goal for Toronto, tying it back up at 2. A lot of hucks we've seen so far early in this one. See Lindquist hauling that one in there.
I didn't see who threw that.
I was unable to tell it myself.
We've got the replay.
Quick strike goal for Toronto.
Fades deep there. That Max just sort of followed the receiver, and the receiver was busy misreading the disc. So
That's tough, unfortunately, for
It is.
Rushing. He's caught in a tough spot there. He's trying to trail back, but it's always hard to make a play going up in the air while you're trailing. So
caught up with it just in time to get there.
give him the benefit of the doubt. Really nice track down by Lundqvist, though. Great
And
Great
we
job
have
to
gone
save
right
possession.
back to our starting line here. Looks like we're being a little more religious today. Quinn Hunziker, Ryan Forster, Will Honey, Paul Klimkowski, Sean Mott, Trey Katzenbach, and Andrew Manganelli on the far end.
Pull from Toronto.
Disc is up. And a nice pull-up win right to the 3. Ryan Forster up to Paul Klimkowski.
Across the Katzenbach. He's got McKenzie on the mark.
Trey
Little
is,
scuba.
yes, an easy one for Quinn, who fakes a nice backhand deep. Back to Trey in the middle. Back to Quinn on the side. Trey is clearing and open right now, but Andrew Manganelli back in the center.
Over
Dumps
to
it to
Hunziker.
Quinn. Swing to Ryan Forster.
Good pressure from Toronto, but definitely very patient offense from Philly so
And they're
far.
moving it. They're
Yeah.
moving it. They don't have, guys are not open by 10 feet, but they don't have to be.
Nope. They got some pretty
Double
good.
teamed on Sean Mott, trapping him on the sideline. Big risk of a stall here. We got a stall.
Mott looking for the foul. He's unable to
Yes,
get the
he
call,
was
though.
looking for contact there.
Philly fans not too happy. That's pretty consistent,
happy at
though.
all.
Philly fans are never really happy, are they?
And now a little double team.
Forster on the mark.
Let's see what the call is here.
I believe it's a contact call on Mott. Disc moved up. Toronto keeping possession. Swinging around here to Paul Tatulia.
Will Honey thinking about laying out for that, but wasn't close enough.
Over to Ian McKenzie again.
Trey Katzenbach putting a patient D on him.
McKenzie to
Well,
Mike McKenzie.
And Klimkowski looking up the field to make sure there was nobody behind him for a quick pop. Oh, a nice
Beautiful
over the
throw
head.
down. Tam with the throw over the top, hitting Jason Quinn in the end zone. A quick strike there. Little celebration from those Toronto players.
So we got 3-2 Philadelphia now. How quickly the worm turns. I'm sorry, Toronto. Thank you. Philly was up 2-1 and 2 straight by Toronto.
Getting that
I
break
know
right
Sean
back.
is frustrated being trapped on that sideline and not getting help to. He went to go between the guys and felt he got contact that put him on the ground there, but I think the refs just felt it was more his reach and step, and he just happened to fall that way.
It's one of the tough things about playing in professional ultimate is you can double team. So if you're the offensive player getting double teamed there's not a whole lot you can do. Mott trying to find someone over the top, but he's going. We talked about that win before. He's going a little bit upwind there. Anything
That's
you're going
right.
to throw is going to hang. Kind of what Toronto's looking for, I think, is from a defense perspective. Toronto set the pull again.
Actually, I think a little downwind there, though it now seems to be coming almost straight from the home sideline. So it's more a crosswind at the moment.
Casey Stargell fielding up to Scott Jus. Up to Mott.
Oh!
Mott unable to
Just
reel
off
it
Sean
in.
Mott's hands. Another turn. This is something that's bedeviled the Phoenix,
Cam Harris picking it up here with Marquez Brownlee on him.
who was forcing him right up the sideline, trying to keep him off the field.
It's a really good matchup to watch right there.
Scott Jus on the.
Swing from Jay Boydchuk over to
Mark.
Remy Ojo.
Ojo had time to look for the coverage there before he realized it was an easy catch.
Back upfield from Boydchuk to Burrell.
Burrell pops it with a nice little backhand past one player and into the end
Cam
zone.
Harris with the goal. Brownlee unable to track it down. Another break for Philadelphia there. Excuse me, another break against Philadelphia for Toronto.
And we have a 4-2 to score now. So we're going to see that same offensive line again with the addition this time of Scotty Jus, it looks like.
Mixed in a little bit.
Yeah.
Jus, a very explosive player.
Going out in place of Paul Klimkowski, I think. No, Paul is out there.
I believe it's Mott who's taking
Oh,
one here.
Mott is taking the break.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mott having a bit of a rough start, but
Yeah.
if we know Sean Mott is more than capable of getting himself back into
No,
this
and
game.
I think this is much more just a matter of cooling himself down for a second.
Sure.
I think he's still a little ticked
Heated.
off about that. Little heated, yes, about that incident on the far side.
I can understand. He didn't seem too pleased with the call, or the lack of a call, I should say.
Yeah.
Philly fielding another pull here. Forster picking up.
Off the end line to Klimkowski at the 10 with a backhand out to Trey. Trey is not a guy who's easy to double team.
We got a
He'll just
zone look here from
Uber over
Toronto.
the top of you. Ryan Forster up the middle to Will Honey. Now,
Little
the
bit of
Phoenix
a-
are moving the disc quickly enough right now that there are no opportunities for a double team. Quinn Hunziker over to Scott Jew in the middle.
Looks
Out
like
to the
Toronto
left.
melting into a man defense here now.
Yeah.
Person defense again.
We have Ryan Forster to Paul Klimkowski on the near side here. Look at nice fake backhand. This goes to my point last week of how much fakes help. Paul just laid the guy on the ground with that fake.
Inside out throw to Hunziker now.
Oh,
Double
Little
team.
double team. Hunziker trying not to travel, and there was definitely contact on that. I'm not sure what constitutes a foul, but he definitely got bumped as he stepped between those guys. I think the refs may feel that he initiated it by doing that.
Fair.
They need to give him a disc's width, even in a double team. Oh, Scott Jew with a big backhand to Will Honey. Trying to get
Honing.
over there, it's just too far over to the sideline.
Beautiful huck from Shu. Unable to dig it out though is Honing.
And another turn, unfortunately.
Philadelphia turnover from Shu. Picking up here Toronto. Looking up line. Oh, beautiful
Oh!
layout. D.
Layout.
Quinn
by
Hunziker.
Quinn Hunziker. I hope he's not hurt.
He looks
Doesn't
like he's
look
doing
looked like
okay.
he clutched an arm to his ribs there for a sec. But
Jason Huynh coming underneath to get the reset, and Quinn Hunziker flying right by him to get the D.
Quinn with one of the big Ds last week to keep DC from going up 3 in
Shu
the fourth quarter.
hitting it to Klimkowski, and that's a
Easy
goal for
Scotty
Philadelphia.
Paul, and
Quick
the third
score
goal
there.
was finally scored. Assist to the goal for Klimkowski. We got to give the big D to Quinn Hunziker.
You watch there, Scotty Shu taking charge of that point on the goal line, picking it up and just feeding it to Klimkowski right away. Quick score for Philly off the turn. Hunziker doing most of the legwork though, that's for sure. 4-3 now. We got Philadelphia still trailing, but hanging in there. Almost 6
Five.
minutes left.
Yep, 5:56 in the first here. We have barely, we could almost hear the Toronto captain talking to his team from up here.
A little quiet on this side of the field, much louder on the fan section side. Toronto fielding the pull here.
See if
Connor
the
Armstrong
Phoenix
picking up.
can get another turn. You have Steve Rosso on the mark there,
Outfield to Lindquist.
and Greg Martin working on him.
Lindquist to
Dustin
Harris.
Sullivan taking on Harris. Matt Esser on D for the Phoenix there.
Thompson McKnight throwing that
Oh!
one downfield. Just picked up by Lindquist. Almost
Greg Martin with a nice effort at that. He almost got a hand on that.
got Rosso selling out to get that mark. Still swinging across to Armstrong. Armstrong breaking across. Esser getting up, but
But,
Toronto
yeah,
able to
a little
bring
late.
that one in. I
This
believe
is-
that is Isaiah Mesa Kelly with the goal for Toronto. That is Mesa Kelly
Yes.
dragging his foot there along the sideline to keep.
He did
Inbounds.
get some vertical to get that. so.
Absolutely. Great defense from Matt Esser as well. It's tough to make that play. It's a break throw there. Beautiful throw from Armstrong to get it over there. So we got Philadelphia up now 5-3 early
Down.
on in this one. Excuse
Toronto
me.
up, yeah.
Toronto up 5-3.
And this offensive series, Marquez is coming out with Ryan Forster, Will Honey, Trey Katzenbach, Sean Mott is back on the field with Scotty Jew and Paul Klimkowski.
If I've got this right now, we're looking at Toronto scoring 5 goals, 5 different players. Spinning around.
Yep.
No one really hogging the disc. Good team-oriented offense.
Yeah. Same on the Philly side, but only 3 of each.
Obviously.
Unfortunately, so.
Still 3 goals for 3 players for Philadelphia.
Yeah, all the stats are for different players, which is
It's pretty impressive so far.
it is. They're both teams are working it around. Ryan Forster up to Paul Klimkowski, a good 20-yard pickup.
Freaking
A little
Tam.
easy air bounce over the top to Scotty Jew with the big backhand. Double team on Brownlee. And the man, look at that.
Foul call? I believe there's a foul call on Brownlee. There. Philly fans once again upset with that
well,
one.
See, Brownlee was standing behind him, and he pulled the arm back to throw and hit Brownlee. I'm not quite sure how that's a Brownlee foul.
Any contact
but-
there, they're going to call it, I'm sure,
Yeah.
though. It's a tough position for Brownlee to be in, no
That's,
less.
um,
Ojo
that-
swinging it
Oh!
across. Mott laying out, unable to get a hand to it
It
completely.
was just a whisker from a
Dishing it
from
back
a
and
catch
forth
D.
now.
He almost caught
Jones.
that thing.
Back to Jones again, excuse me. Jones around now, finding Marin. Looking to Ojo on the break side, can't quite get it to him. Instead, going upstairs to Zlatic. Jackie Howe with the disc across to Jones.
Backhand too easy into the end zone.
Yep, that's Remy Ojo with the goal for Toronto. Toronto now leading 6-3.
Working Trey Katzenbach pretty hard.
Yep, that's a tough point there. That's what we're talking about. Like these
We
longer
might,
points. Longer points are going to be really tough for both teams defensively.
In this heat, you
Yeah.
gotta keep hydrating out there, fellas. And
Pretty
get your
wide
calories.
field as well. Definitely not easy to keep running. Sean Mott almost bringing it back for Philadelphia there. Great
So
layout
close.
bid. Could not get a full hand to it, though. He definitely made some contact. You saw the disc flutter after Mott able to get a bit of a piece of it. But instead, Toronto saving possessions, and it was Ojo with the goal. That's now 6 Toronto players with 6 different goals. Really spreading it around.
Let me think on that. We just missed the replay.
Philadelphia fielding here. Deep pull here from Toronto.
Wow.
Sending him way back to the back of the end zone. Mac rushing with the disc now. Inside from rushing to Hunziker.
Hunziker just scoops that up. And
Hug deep.
burns a big backhand down to Greg Martin at the 10.
Wide open was Martin
Waiting for
there.
the rest of the team to come there. A quick dump.
Starzl.
Casey again looking for Mac in the middle, but comes to the sideline.
That's Charlie Cannon.
Charlie is finding Mac rushing in the middle of the field, who follows the disc another couple steps just to get more space. Now he's double teamed by Ryan Forster's defender. Stephen Ing is going behind him for the dump and leaving a double team on him.
Beautiful throw from
Oh,
rushing.
settled right in front over there. Quinn at the 7. This is something that you don't want if you're Toronto.
Nope, definitely
Boom.
not. When you get
Quinn
a goal to
Hunziker.
Andrew Manganelli there
Andrew,
from Quinn
freshman
Hunziker.
Manganelli.
Beautiful offense from Philadelphia
So
there.
there's our first assist for Quinn.
I believe it's the first goal for Manganelli as well.
It is. Yes, it is.
Nice offensive point there from Philly. Hunziker digging it out on the in cut there
They
and then
needed it with
continuing to
Toronto
work.
at 4. They got stomped up in Toronto, and they just don't want to let this get out of hand. After what they did with DC last week, Philadelphia knows they can do this. They
Absolutely.
can play with all these guys.
Absolutely. They're hanging around right now. This is what they did with DC as well.
That's
They
right.
hung around in the first 3 quarters, and the first time they took the lead was the last time Philly
That's
scored.
correct, yeah.
Their only lead of the game
in
was
the
the
final
game-winning
3
goal.
minutes of the game. That's right. And it was 1 and 2 from early in the second quarter all the way to the end.
Martin
So
here
we have-
set the pull.
Yep. And we have Dustin Sullivan, Stephen Ing, Steve Rosso,
Great pull here.
and
Going all the way
Matt
back. Cam
Esser.
Harris tracking all the way back to get there. Finding Connor Armstrong upfield now.
Out
Oh,
on defense.
Ken Wells on him.
Oh, faking the backhand, a big flick, but it's very high,
And I
it's
believe
going out of
that's gonna
bounds.
be out of
It's not
bounds.
coming back.
It was
And
Isaiah Kelly, on the huck. Unfortunately,
We
unable
have
to keep it
Dave
in.
Chaclis marking it at the 18 there. Our near sideline ref.
It's Stephen Eng picking it up here.
Sting is going to get it, and he's looking up line at first and then across field
Breaking
swing
Armitage to Rosso.
to Steve Rosso. Nobody is really close to these throwers. Oh!
Just look for Greg Martin, though, right?
It's wide open here, yes. And right across to the middle.
That's Wells playing a little dishy catch with him.
Yeah, he's
Wells looking upfield.
Oh!
Wide open receiver, and that is going to be
Nice.
a goal for Philadelphia.
For Eric Nardelli.
Quick break there for Philly.
Kenny Wells making his first appearance today. Or his second, at least, and certainly getting his first stats.
Getting the first
Well,
assist
that
there.
was very nice.
Ill-advised huck from Masaya Kelly. Maxa Kelly, excuse me. Send him back out there, though. Coaches are telling him, don't worry about it.
Yep.
Definitely someone to watch, though, for this Toronto team is there's none of that. Their head coach and their assistant coach, main assistant coach, are both not here today. We've got Evan Phillips in place.
Who actually coached Toronto for the first 2 or 3 years, but I understand he took a couple off because he's enlarging his family. I think there was some home help required there.
Yeah, well, he's been a good dad, being a
Of
good
course he
husband.
has. Of
Always
course he
good to
has.
hear. Always good to hear.
Yep.
So, yes, we got
More
Evan
ultimate
Phillips.
babies being born.
Yes, Evan Phillips patrolling the sideline for Toronto today as his team looks to field the pull here. A little bit shorter. We got Mike Jones picking up.
At the 13.
Swinging immediately.
Ryan Forster on D right there. We got a double team on the throwers, it looks like, especially when you got a trailing dump.
Marin back to Jones. Now over to McKnight. McKnight actually, he's quietly having a really good season. He's got 100 more touches entering today than anybody else on Toronto. He's one of their main handlers.
Pretty astounding. Ooh, a nice jump up D by Eric Nardelli to stop the long huck there.
I feel the Brett Tan.
On the near
Shoot,
sideline.
getting on.
Uh-oh. And
Dug
Marcus
out there by Jarrett
Marquez
Marin.
was tempted by that. He really was.
Almost a bid there
but
from
decided
Bradley.
not to do it.
Instead, we've got Jarrett Marin digging that one out, laying out to just scoop that one up. He just got his hands underneath it there. Scotty Shue looked, noticed that he was trying to get there, tried to cut off the throw, unable to fully seal it.
Yep.
And instead, we got a goal for Toronto, putting them out at 7. And now we've got 7 goals, and still 7 Toronto
different
players
players.
scoring.
Yeah, and the same thing on the Phoenix side. 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 different players.
Have to see if anybody starts doubling
Doubling up. They will be, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Still got a lot of game left to go here as
But
we just
that's-
got
yeah,
a
it's
minute
an
55 to go in the first.
Interesting indication of 2 offenses who seem to be humming right here. Now, this is a pull that is not going to do well for Toronto, except to get them coverage.
Yeah, it's landed past the
That
20.
24-yard line. Paul Klimkowski picks it up. Another big backhand fake.
Looks to
Out to
Katzenbach.
Trey Katzenbach.
Romeo on the
Trey
mark.
is looking downfield and finding Paulie in the middle again. Ryan Forster is his left swing. They need more center cuts.
Tutulia marking Klimkowski.
And there we go, right up to freshman Andrew Manganelli,
Hucking it.
overthrowing Quinn Hunziker, which is a tough thing to do, ladies and gentlemen.
It's one of
When
those
that
things
fella
where
gets a head of steam up, so we're going to have to give Andrew that turn there. 'Cause
you almost want to put that in the air. You know
Yeah,
Hunziker can
you
go
got
up and
it.
get it.
Hunziker has such great vertical, and he's 6 foot already, so.
True.
Oh!
Great D. Maganelli getting it right back.
Injury, he got landed on the head. Oh, and the Toronto player is trying to say Andrew pushed him away with his arm. Andrew's disputing that.
I don't think Maganelli
If they call that
agrees with
against
that.
Manganelli, that's a bad call. He got landed on
I
the
think
end of that
he's,
play.
he's heading out for an injury there as well. Scott Shue coming to sub in here.
And I think that's a turnover.
To me, on the initial look there, it looked like Maganelli did a great job of getting positioning and getting a hand to it. It's tough to see. It's that far sideline for us, but still, it looks like it's going to stay with Philadelphia.
Yep.
Maganelli getting his own D right back.
That's right.
Have to
That
turn
was a
it
good
over.
call. 52 seconds. The clock starts back up.
Oh, looking
Oh,
downfield.
Paulie Klimkowski all alone, and he
Unable to
goes
field it.
too early. Oh,
I think Paulie had to go up when he did, though. I don't think there was a chance that
oh no, I disagree. I think he would have run that down.
they had a
He's
Toronto
fast.
player trailing off there. I believe that was Jason Huynh coming across the top, poaching off his defender.
We've got a timeout at 39 seconds. Oh, that's
Toronto
tough.
calling it here.
That's tough. Toronto timeout. We're going to give them their first one of the first half.
I have to see if Manganelli is going to be okay. It looked like he
Let's
landed
see
awkwardly on
that.
that shoulder.
Missed the replay. There wasn't anything because there wasn't any goal. Right.
Not quite yet.
But that's
Very close, though, for
oh,
Philadelphia.
that was a
punching
pretty
break.
throw. A pretty throw. It was a little bit downwind.
It's a great look. It was interesting because if you noticed, Klimkowski dished it off. He swung it,
Yeah.
to Shue and then cut upfield. It was a great
Immediately
find
because
from
it was
Shue.
an open space to
Yep.
go to.
Yep, he took it right away.
I
Unable
think
to
he just
missed it.
just missed that. Even if he had kept his feet, he might have been able to run it down because he had such momentum forward. But I think if he had stayed on the ground, he didn't have to worry about that defender. He was wide open. He just should have run that to the end of the end zone and taken it where he wanted. Scotty had a nice. It wasn't a rocket, it was
No,
it
he
was
floated
nice
that out there.
pace on it. It was just enough to get it in front of him.
Yeah, you got to put a lot of spin on the disc to make that kind of
Yeah.
throw work.
It was very
Scotty definitely
stable. It's a tough thing. I know Paulie wants another shot at that.
We'll have to see what Toronto does here coming out of the timeout. They got 39 seconds here. They'll probably look to drain a little bit of this clock and then try and leave Philadelphia with as little time as possible to retaliate at the end of this quarter.
Such a tough shot to give up after Andrew gave his head for the D.
Thompson McKnight with the disc. Rosso on the mark. Cross to Cam Harris. In cut here for Toronto, finding Lindquist.
Greg Martin on the mark, keeping him from going upfield. It's going to be some pretty intense D on this point. And this one is thrown, and
Great
just
bid,
doesn't. That's on the
unable to
ground
reel it
and
in.
up. That's down. He's calling it down.
Yeah,
That's
good
a
call
spirit
from Cam.
call.
Yeah, good call from Cam
The
Harris.
ref missed that on the near sideline, but the player caught it, rolled, and dropped the disc, and then
Photo with only
acknowledged
5
that he had
seconds
dropped
looking
it.
to huck it deep, and that's going to be well short of the end
Yeah,
zone.
that's not going to do it.
And that is going to be the end
That's
of
the end of the quarter.
end of the first quarter here.
That's the
Clock's
end of the
hitting all
quarter.
zeros.
Very good work by our clock man, Dan Spicer, up here to get that whistle out. Everybody looked around. What was going on? Well,
Yeah.
it's easy. That was the end of the quarter.
End of the quarter. So, at the end of one, we've got Philadelphia trailing 7-5. It's
And
been
lucky to have it not be 8 because
true.
they really had a chance there.
Absolutely. Toronto had a chance to score, but it also could have been 7-6 if Paul Klimkowski was able to
He
reel that one
could've.
in the end zone.
Andrew Manganelli got that D out there. Who D'd it up here? He just
It was
dropped
a turnover.
It. That's right.
Cam
That
Harris
was the
unable to
turnover.
reel it in. It was
That's
Massa
right.
Kelly again with the huck. Much better than his previous one, keeping that one in bounds, giving Harris a chance at it. Unfortunately, unable for Harris to reel it in. We could take it somewhere. We can't even really talk about our scoring leaders because everyone's got one goal.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
7 different
Wow,
Toronto
score
players
sheet.
scoring. We've got 5 different Philadelphia players scoring
right.
as well. A couple turnovers on
All
both
right.
sides.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take our break here for the quarter, and we'll be back with you in about 2.5 minutes.
So this piece with Eric is amazing to me. It's right in line with what we think is critical for kids, and that is to know their bodies.
The kids have really gotten into having speakers here that aren't just their teachers.
And I think the clinicians did a fantastic job. All the kids were engaged, none of them were distracted. They seemed to get into it right away.
I just want to reach out to Eric and tell him, thank you for coming and sharing the message that our kids can speak up. Early recognition is critical, and I look forward to doing more things with Eric in the future.
It's been great for us as a staff and for our students to experience the message you guys have, and highly recommend it for any school that has the opportunity.
Yeah, I loved that you guys talk about cancer awareness, and it's more about body awareness and knowing their own bodies.
And I think Eric is a wonderful way to bring this into school. You come with a complete program.
The information is good. It's presented in a very professional way. The instructors do an excellent job.
I think the kids overall had a great time. I can see from their responses that they want.
Dallas takes possession, looking for the tie. And it was tipped off the hands of Chris Larberg and caught by Zach
So this piece with
Are we up here?
There we go.
Toronto just receiving the pull for the second quarter rather.
McKnight with the disc here. Tightly marked. Armstrong back to McKnight.
Kenny Wells out there on the near sideline on D for the Phoenix.
Cam Harris now with the disc. And back over to McKnight. McKnight getting a ton of those touches again for Toronto. Massa Kelly now. Tightly marked by Stephen Ang. Back to Armstrong.
Kenny Wells on him.
Upfield to Harris.
Matt Esser on him.
Lindquist.
Greg Martin guarding him. And nobody up for the moment, then comes back.
Benjamin Burrell there. Great
Nardelli.
bid there from
There.
Wells. Armstrong just
Nardelli.
able to snag it out of the ground. Excuse me, snag it out of the air as Wells at the ground. McKnight over to Armstrong again.
Kenny Wells trying to stop that swing. And
Esser marking up Harris.
oh!
And that's a turnover
That
there.
is a turn. Harris
Looked like
tried. That was a great reach down
by
by
Esser
Matt
there.
Esser, and Harris just couldn't hold on.
I think he was trying to holster
I
that
think
and just
he
let
was.
it go.
He was trying to rein it back in, and he couldn't quite do it. We have Stephen Ing. Ooh, almost gives it back over to Kenny Wells. A little on the inside. Only issue there was Kenny Wells was pulling his D-man towards the disc.
Absolutely. Rosso now with the disc, guarded by McKnight.
Thank you. That's better.
Run through by Harris, unable to get there though.
Oh! Oh!
Skying it there, but
Oh!
saved in the end.
That
And
was-
I believe that's Martin throwing
and he's
downfield.
overthrown Andrew. No!
No,
he
he's
did
not!
Holy cats.
Nardelli laying out to get the.
Eric
Oh my!
Nardelli with the big goal, and there's our first double.
Great. Oh, I don't know if I want to call it a great throw from Greg Martin, but it did just
No,
enough.
Not at all great, but certainly not too far. So
Did just enough to get his hands on the disc. Nardelli reeling that one in.
Greg Martin with the assist, giving him his first assist to go with his one goal. So he and Eric Nardelli both now have 2 points.
Nardelli just scoring a second goal there.
And a beautiful layout it was, too.
Brownlee looking to pull here. Toronto getting set to receive.
Marquez with a big, big air pull that is
And
coming down and going out of bounds at the 12, which means it'll be a brick at the 20.
it's going to be McKnight taking it here from the brick mark. He's got Marin in the backfield with him. A little confusion from Philadelphia. No one on McKnight at the moment. And there we go. We got Colin Konash there coming to mark him. And immediately a double team from Mac Rushing.
Ooh,
Bid upfield from Starzel, I believe. Unable to
yes,
get there.
almost.
And it's a turnover on the swing. McKnight unable to dig it out.
Sean Mott with an easy throw to Scotty Zhu. who's
Tan
looking
just
back to
turning it
the
over
middle
on the
to
swing.
Sean. They're going to play a little catch until somebody stops them. And
Mott with a
there it
scoober.
is. Sean Mott to Scotty Zhu.
Scott Shue with his goal there. That's Scotty's first, or
I
is
think it
that is Shue's first of the
goal.
game?
He has an assist, but that's his first goal.
And that's an assist from Mott as well. Just a turnover there from Brett Tan, just turfing it, unfortunately, on the swing, looking for McKnight. And Philadelphia making him pay.
And here we are tied at 7, ladies and gentlemen. So after going all game last week, trying to get to that point, they have done it early in the second quarter here. And this has got to be a real booster for Phoenix morale, because they know they're in this game, and they know they're making these guys work.
Absolutely, forcing turnovers
And their
all across the
offense
field.
is clicking. They're not relying too heavily on any one person, though I saw on that point, I think that Sean finally said, look, let me just direct this thing.
Yep.
And it's interesting because he's such a big threat downfield as a receiver. It's also fun to watch him take a minute to handle and
Absolutely.
just run the point.
You cannot overlook Sean Mott's throwing ability, that is
And
for
once
sure.
Scotty, they did that 2 or 3 times, Scotty said, okay, let's play catch, and just took it into the end zone to get
Beautiful
that scoop.
pull there. Look at that. We're all the way down to the goal line here as McKnight and Armstrong playing catch, swinging it back and forth.
Yeah. And Steve Rosso doing a nice job of sort of getting off the dump to close down that center lane. Some really great position defense being played on both sides.
Massa Kelly to Lindquist here.
The Phoenix have stepped it up. Greg Martin working on that thrower, and Stephen Ing on the
Jeffrey
man with the
Wu
disc now.
back to Lindquist.
Toronto's just not getting a bunch of freebies here. Dustin Sullivan.
Steve Armitage upfield to McKnight.
McKnight is, okay, so Steve Rosso closed in quickly there.
Shoe on the
Stephen
mark.
Ing.
Oh, excuse me. Stephen Eng on the mark. Wu upfield to Cam Harris, and that is a goal for Toronto, going back up now 8-7.
Wu to Harris.
Wu to Harris on that one, making it look easy into the
They
front
did.
corner
They
of
did
the
a
end
little
zone.
Lead. That's all you need, really, was space for somebody to put the disc out in front of you like that.
Hey, and now we've got our first Toronto player with a double on the score sheet here. Cam
Good.
Harris scoring his second goal in the afternoon, or I guess the evening at this stage.
Evening, yes. Sun has still got some time. The lights are already on here, though.
Yep. Philadelphia making Toronto work on that last point there for sure, making them put a lot of throws backfield before they finally were able to start breaking it up downfield. But all the same. Toronto getting the hold.
It's
And
good to see freshman back out there, Andrew Manganelli.
yep, the shoulder injury clearly not going to keep him out of this one.
Yeah, I wondered. It looked like he got laid on his head too.
Oh, okay.
When they both laid out, Quinn Hunziker, Ryan Forster is going to take the disc. Paulie Klimkowski will be his first shot. And, of course, you have Will Honey out there and Sean Mott coming to the near sideline at midfield.
Matt looking at
Looking
Katzenbeck.
Oh, Katzenbeck. He was thinking about that.
Instead, we find Hunziker.
But Hunziker with a big loopy flick over to Will Honey, and that is
Unable
taken
to bring it in.
with good inside position. I think we have to
Give that to Ian McKenzie with the D there. That's his second of the game.
I got to give Quinn that turnover for a little short throw.
A little too
shallow
floaty.
throw, yeah.
A double team here from Honing and Manganelli. Mott on the mark. Now after the swing.
Little Scoober.
Howe wide open.
Toronto just doesn't really look settled anymore.
It's a lot of pressure here from Philadelphia with these
There
double
is.
teams.
have
Timeout
a
called by
timeout.
Toronto.
The little yellow bean bag that they now have for the coaches to throw makes it very helpful so that we don't, as referees, and I say we, it's just my old job around here. but
True.
The refs don't have to worry about people behind them yelling timeout that they don't know who they are. Because they see this yellow bean bag, they know that's the coach, and it's a legit timeout.
Yeah, only one who has that. For good reason there.
Yeah. Zlatić welcoming his teammates off the field. They're going to leave the starters on each team while they talk about what to do.
We got a little of a swap here. Tutulia coming off for Toronto. Same with McKenzie. I think Toronto's going
there
more of
you
an
go.
offensive line here. Harris coming back in. Masick Kelly. Trying to see who else we got in here. Benjamin Burrell.
Eileen has turned over this huddle to one of her assistants to talk about this point and how to finish it up. She's talking with Sting on the sideline.
I'm sure he's getting an earful. Eileen Murray, one of the most passionate ultimate coaches I think I've ever met in my entire life. That's for sure.
She's
Not afraid to tell you what she thinks.
Yes, not afraid at all, and a good person to have out front for this team. They
Absolutely.
need a little direction and discipline, but they certainly have the talent to do what they need to do here.
And we're starting to see that come to fruition. They got a win last week versus DC. They're hanging in there so far against a very talented Toronto team who leads the AUDL East.
I would say one goal early in the second quarter is good. You're getting, we're getting live feedback as to the volume on
Apologize for anything that you guys have been unable to hear so far in this one.
our
Armitage on the sideline here. Zhu marking him, sealing it off, forcing him back to the middle. We got McKnight now, across to Armstrong.
Mac Rushing putting a nice solid mark on him.
Masick Kelly, we know he likes to take a shot every now and then. Instead, just swings it back to McKnight. Outfield Lindquist, definitely one of these better Toronto cutters, especially on their offensive line. Up to Harris with Brownlee on him. That's been a great matchup. We've seen that so far. I think Harris has had the probably the better end of that matchup so far in this one, but I wouldn't rule out Marquez getting a D on Harris at some stage during this game.
No, I would never.
Shu coming across as Armitage gets it across. Over to Lindquist now. Harris getting it back. Harris is one of the guys that really makes this offensive unit hum for Toronto. He gets the disc plenty throughout the point.
It is amazing how much McKnight
Masick
is
Kelly.
the every other guy.
We got Masick Kelly throwing a nice break backhand to Steve Armitage in the end zone for a Toronto goal. That's Armitage's first of the game.
And we're back to a 2-goal Toronto lead.
9-7 now. 7:13 to go in the second quarter. Definitely going to be it's going to be tough for Philadelphia if they keep getting broken around there. That's for sure. A lot of breaks thrown on that last point by Toronto, and it seemed like a little bit too easy for them. And that's just that speaks volumes about how talented these handlers are, and really just the whole team is for Toronto. That offensive unit, they know that they can put those throws out to space, and their downfield cutters are going to go get it.
Right, and I always wonder how much of that is these guys playing together on GOAT. I know several of them do.
Absolutely.
The Greater Ontario and Toronto Ultimate Team.
Yep.
Big pull coming down to the Phoenix 5, 10.
Yeah, somewhere in between. Katzenbeck
Thankfully,
fielding.
it hit the ground first before he bobbled it. Paulie Klimkowski in the middle, unguarded for a moment or two there.
Over to Forster now, I believe.
Yep. A little dump.
Into
Up
Mott.
to Sean. In timeout. Toronto.
I'm not sure. I think that's going to be, is that unsportsmanlike?
Oh, delay of game on the sideline.
Interesting. That's going to be
A
costing
10-yard penalty.
costing Toronto 10 yards there from their sideline. I don't know what was going on
Interesting.
there. Just see if we can get some clarification about that at halftime. Mott with the disc here.
Play is whistled back in.
Back
Paul
up to Mott.
Klimkowski with an easy flick up to Sean Mott.
Jason
Big
Nguyen
flip
bidding.
to Will Honey, who paused for a moment and then went and got it.
Absolutely.
Very nice play. Sean Mott with a easy flick that didn't outrun his receiver. And his third assist.
It's a pretty big
Sean
target, too.
Yeah, it is.
Will Honig.
He's not receiving tonight. He's pitching out there.
Absolutely. He's facilitating this offense so far
He
from
sure
Philadelphia.
is.
Looks like he's recovered from some of those early errors he was having. So, Mott
And I
getting his
know.
head back on his shoulders and looking good. Looking
Will
good.
feels good to get out there and get a goal, too. And he was way open. It was just so easy for Sean to do that.
Yeah, nice bid there from Quinn on Toronto trying to steal it from Mott, but Mott going up over him and getting it. And with Quinn on the ground after the bid, Mott was just all the time in the world to float that one into the end zone. For
Right,
him.
and again, we see that Pensbury connection, Klimkowski to Mott, and the Mercer connection up there.
Absolutely.
These guys know each other from so many other places. And
Greg.
here goes Greg Martin with the pull. Ooh, that's a nice one. That's going to the goal line, if not in the end zone, and it is in the end zone.
And got Armstrong tracking back to field it. Up to McKnight right
And the
away.
second player is covered at the 3, which is nice. Too big a pass out to the
Harris with the huck. Lindquist trying to track it down.
Uh-oh.
Eng in the area. Lindquist reading it well, though, and boxing out Eng. Pulling it in just outside the end zone. We got Esser on Massa Kelly.
And too easy again.
And that's Armitage, I believe, streaking up line. Armitage with the goal
From
for
Massa Kelly.
Toronto. And that is Armitage's second now. I believe it's back-to-back goals for him.
I think it is. And back to 10-8. Another 2-goal lead.
That's That's at least Massa Kelly's second assist of the game. He's been solid so far from what we've seen. Massa Kelly's been getting the disc a lot and putting something downfield pretty much every time he has it. We've seen a couple of his hucks go off. One that just missed earlier by Cam Harris. That one finding its way to Armitage, though, in the end zone for an easy score along the break side.
And now at 6:12 left, we have Will Honey, Ryan Forster, Quinn Hunsaker, Sean Mott, Paul Klimkowski, Trey Katzenbach,
Andrew Meganelli,
and freshman back out there on O for the Phoenix. Try and get it back to within 1.
Maron pulling here.
That's a nice one up on the left side and then fading back into the field. Trey with the sun at his back. Easy catch out to Paulie on the right side a little ways. Nice cut by Quinn Hunsaker.
Mike McKenzie marking up here.
And Sean Mott going deep, and he gets it. He's going to catch that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you right now, he didn't. He didn't. I jinxed him.
That is the curse of the commentator
It is.
right there,
the
Bailey.
curse of the cast. Sean Mott got wrong-footed there and was fading.
You can still see the jumping ability.
Backwards, yeah.
On full display.
But the defender really closed well on that play on Sean Mott.
Maron hucking here, looking
Surprised
downfield.
him. And
That's going to be
looks like
Ian
it's gonna get
McKenzie.
caught, too.
Pulling it in, and he is in the end zone for a quick Toronto goal. Full field huck there. Unbelievable throw
Yeah.
from Maron. Just getting it to float out to space. Ian McKenzie going to drag it down. That is now 11 for Toronto, and Philadelphia suddenly finds themselves down by 3.
By 3 for the first time since early in the first quarter. Wait, they weren't down by? Yeah, they were once briefly, I think.
It's been a pretty nip-and-tuck game so far. I believe this matches the largest lead that we've seen from Toronto.
Yeah, I think I know for a change the Phoenix drew first blood and got out early there.
They
or
ended
second blood and third blood, I think.
Yes, they took a 2-1 lead early in this one before
went down 4-2, as I recall. But anyway, a missed opportunity by Sean Mott. I know he wants that one back.
Absolutely.
And
Great
now
throw as well. That's tough.
It was a nice throw. Marcus Brownlee, Mac rushing Sean Mott.
Charlie Cannon looking to field it here.
Charlie Cannon letting it hit the ground probably wisely. Scotty Zhu is his backcourt mate, but he gets through the middle to Casey Startzel, who's another one of these underrated guys who just doesn't make mistakes, is always in a good spot. You see him now in a seam in the zone. Sean Mott coming back.
Double team here from Toronto.
Right. And
Again with Mott.
Mott
unable to get it to, that's Mac Rushing going down trying to get it.
Yeah,
and Toronto looking at a quick strike here.
easily
Tan
flustered
upfield.
there.
And Ojo catching it, not in the end zone quite yet. Instead, he will dish it off to Huynh, and that is going to be a goal for Toronto. And like that, it's going to be a couple
tough.
quick ones in a row.
That's tough.
All of a sudden, we're looking at a 12-8 score line. Toronto. Brett Tan doing most of the work there with the throw, breaking upfield to get it to Ojo, and Ojo dishing it off to Huynh for the goal.
This may be getting close to a time for a little Eileen Murray chat. But it looks like the Phoenix is not going to do it now. They're just going to get back out on their horses. And we have Greg Martin, Will Honey, Ryan Forster, Scott Zhu in the middle with Trey Katzenbach. I think that's Kenny Wells. And
Paul
the
Klimkowski.
owner is over there leading the crowd, throwing away some free discs.
I think no one
Paul
caught that one, though.
Klimkowski. Is that Paul Klimkowski?
That is
Yes.
Paulie out there. Paul with freshman.
Freshman, yep.
Andrew
on the
Manganelli at
side.
the end.
Ryan Forster running that disc down to get it in the air quickly. A good plan. Paulie in the middle.
Great cut
Easy
from
out
Shu.
to Scott Zhu on the far sideline. He goes for that backhand but gets shut down by the D. Ryan Forster to Will Honey.
Huge bid there from Toronto. Unable to get there,
Ooh.
though. Honey.
Honey
Doing a good job.
holsters the huck and
Run through.
gets it up to freshman. Hugh does not, and that's a nice play right there, folks. Scotty Zhu taking it standing up.
Scotty Shu, one of the fastest players in this division.
Was that Trey Katzenbach who threw that?
I believe that was actually Will Honey.
Was it Will Honey?
Will Honey
Okay.
with another assist there.
Will Honey, a nice shot. Actually, his first assist.
Oh, excuse me, though. I was thinking he had the throw
And-
downfield to Mott as well. He was close with that one, but
Scott Zhu just running it so easily.
once Scotty turns on the Jets, he is not an easy player to catch, and he had a ton of space to work with, honing, just floating it out there to space.
Honey finally getting the disc up in the air a little to give his receiver some time. He had a couple of very happy, open looks that he just got so happy about. He overthrew them. That's that, adrenaline pump.
A little bit of overexcitement
Overthrow.
there.
Yeah, you get so excited. And you forget to leave your receiver enough air to choose when to take it. But Scotty was really open on that one, and no trouble at all running it down.
One of those situations where you see a player almost over-gripping on a forehand huck because he's so excited.
Right.
We got McKnight now in the middle of the field.
Waiting
Toronto.
for his receivers to clear out and spread out.
We got a zone look here from Philadelphia.
We kind of do, I think, yeah.
I have a feeling that they're counting out
Oh,
the
that's
throws.
the travel there. He didn't need to take that extra bounce.
Armstrong there with the disc. Back
You forget
to
the
McKnight.
rule about travel being you stop when you are able. You don't get 3 steps just because you're allowed them.
No, not quite. Massa Kelly upfield.
Ooh.
Beautiful throw to Lindquist.
Always amuses me when they bounce and take 2 or 3 extra steps just to get open.
Downfield, Massa Kelly looking at Armitage again.
Wow, I thought he might have overthrown him.
Armitage able to run that one down. Armitage
3:45 left.
showing he's having a huge second quarter. It's 3 goals for him now in this quarter.
And we're on pace here to have a 30-point game for each team if this keeps up.
Very
We're
high
at
scoring affair so far.
13-9 and plenty of time left for Toronto to get those 2, though I'd rather see the Phoenix shut them down and get 4 straight. But unlikely with a team this good.
From an unbiased perspective, right? You just want to see a close game.
That's right. Yes, I just want to see. a
Yeah,
close
there's no
game.
bias there.
So who do we have? Again, Will Honey out there with Sean Mott, Quinn Hunsaker, Ryan Forster, Paul Klimkowski, and Andrew Manganelli and Trey Katzenbach. It is the starting
McKenzie with the
line.
pull. And
oh.
I think that might be an offsides
Offsides.
call here.
I
Or
think
maybe
we
there was
do.
not a signal for readiness. Offsides. We'll have
And
to
in
get
that
some direction here.
instance, I think we're going to get the disc. Is that a midfield? I think that's a midfield.
Mules field
Ooh-wee.
defense costing
Ollie
Toronto a ton
Klimkowski
of
lets it
yards
get tapped
there.
in.
Quinn Hunziker upfield right away.
And this is one of these opportunities the Phoenix just do not want to give back.
Can't squander this.
Trey with a nice little scuba to Sean Mott at the 20.
Mott
He's double teamed again, but
Dropping
the
off.
second man falls off to cover Trey on the dump.
Tan
Will
dropping
Honey
off.
with a nice open throw to Paul Klimkowski on the near sideline. Nobody else there. Paul to Quinn, who's at the 2.
Good D there from Quinn, but unable to get his hand on it.
Hunsinger back to Will Honey. Turn your head, Will. See the rest of the field. Not necessary. There it is.
Sean Mott laying
Sean
out
Mott
in the
from
end
Will
zone.
Honey. That's the second time we've seen that this quarter. So Sean with his first goal. I'm sorry, we couldn't have seen it because that's his first goal. Will Honey with the 6th. I think it was the other way around. Sean to Will.
He's looking a little ginger now walking off the field. He's
Sean Mott. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
he's
not good.
pulling up a little bit. That's
And
going to be
he's
something to keep an eye on if you're a
grabbing his
Philadelphia
groin.
Phoenix fan. Oh, that's not a good,
He's grabbing
good
his
sign.
groin. That the one thing about this grass when it's dry is that it does not forgive you when you land awkwardly. You don't slide. When it's a little moist and dewy, you slide all you need, but you can really catch something on grass this lush.
Absolutely. and
Which is a
it's-
strange thing. I feel awkward even complaining about lush grass because the field is so beautiful.
True. It's a really beautiful day out, but definitely a dry one. There's not any chance of we're going to get any wetness on this field for sure.
No precipitation today. Marquez Brownlee with a nice big pull, cross corner that's fading back to his side.
Going to stay in bounds for this one.
At the goal line.
Harris fielding up to McKnight right away. McKnight still, that seems to be their go-to guy off the pole.
Yep.
Shoot, almost pulling the trigger on Burrell there. We got Harris with the disc down the middle. Shoe trailing Burrell. That's where they were looking, but cross to McKnight
Marquez
again.
almost tapped that out.
Marquez on Kelly here.
Oh,
Upfield
shoot.
throw. And that
Another
is a tough,
easy goal.
Really tough throw for Scott Shue to defend. Really tough.
Very
throw for Scott
nicely
Shue to
put.
defend.
Mazzucchelli, that inside-out flick that comes up and goes over the defender, but with enough touch to settle in front of the receiver.
That's Burrell's first goal of the game for Toronto. Kelly with, I believe, his 3rd assist now of the contest.
Well, I guess Sean is okay because he's going back out there.
Yeah, Mott's a tough guy. I'm not surprised to see him back on the field. It's a really nice throw there from Toronto. Just enough weight from Kelly to float that out to space over Shue's head and to give his receiver a chance to run onto it.
We have Will Honey, Ryan Forster, Mott, Hunsiker, Katzenbach, Manganelli, and Klimkowski out there. That O-line that Phoenix is relying on. A nice pull that's going to come to our sideline at about the 10. Ryan Forster taking it out of the air as he is wont to do. No pressure to throw since he's not being marked there initially.
Forster just digging that one out. Beautiful bid from Mike McKenzie. Almost got a hand to it.
Ryan put the nose down on that, and the wind almost turfed it before Klimkowski could get to it. Nice throw to Sean Mott. What's happening up here? We got a pick.
I believe a foul call on the Philly offense here. I think this might be on Honing. Or a timeout called, maybe. That looks like a timeout called. We're going to a little break here in the action.
That's what he was gesturing. Okay, we got the bean back.
Gotcha.
So we have a timeout here, finally for Philadelphia. Thank you. Got to get my microphone back there.
Eileen Murray coming out to talk to her troops here.
And the offense knowing what they want to do, I think. It's just a matter of getting it executed. A little over 2 minutes left.
Yep. Evan Phillips doing the exact same thing with his Toronto squad. Set back up.
Timeouts left is on top. It's
We got Marin, looked like she's going to mark up here with Quinn Hunziker. Hunziker standing over the disc.
We have our clock, our timekeeper alerting.
No. The one is the down, the one is the quarter. But the
Immediate double team here from Toronto as Hunziker gets it off right away, though, to break it to Klimkowski. Megan
Nice
Ellie running
out
onto
the
it.
freshman. Up the middle to Will Honey, it looked like, but then it was Ryan Forster, and he puts a nice backhand out to Trey Katzenbach, who's going to get smushed by half of the Toronto team there,
Mike
unfortunately.
Jones
That
with
was
D.
just,
A little too much air underneath that one.
yeah, it was not wise.
Gave Mike Jones a chance to run onto it. We got a huck here right away,
Paul
looking for
Klimkowski
Ojo.
trying to get deep there with Ojo. He's coming around. Yes!
Oh, great
That
D from
is a
Klimkowski.
terrific play by Paul Klimkowski. Big D for Paulie on that. That was a great read. He went around the outside. He knew he had time to do it. He went around the outside, got up behind Ojo without fouling him and tipped it away, and he's about to get a stall called.
But
But
instead,
he
we
throws
got
it up for Sean Mott instead, who doesn't catch it, and looked like he might have had a little hand contact, but that's very tough to see and call in that situation. Toronto quickly coming back.
Mike McKenzie with the disc.
That's really too bad. What a great D by Paul to waste. But
Jones
he didn't
inside
get any
throw.
help.
Honey almost getting
yeah,
it
we're
back.
gonna have contact on that for sure.
Yep, Ian McKenzie getting
Will just
plowed
a
into.
little hard coming through the back end.
Yep, I mean, that's an understandable foul right
Yeah,
there.
no hard feelings there. He's
None whatsoever. Tapped in right away. McKenzie going to break around, looking for Mike McKenzie in the end zone, and
And
that
he
is a
gets him.
Toronto goal.
Yes, it is. So there we have 15. We're on pace for 30 for Toronto with 55 seconds left. And we have 10 for Philadelphia, but this 5-goal lead is not the way they wanted to end the half. So they're going
Absolutely not.
to see if they can work it down here in 55 seconds. Marquez Brownlee, Mac Rushing, Casey Startzel with Ryan Forster, who has really been one of the linchpins today on this offense. Matt Esser, Stephen Ing, and Greg Martin, coming out too. Slightly different look on O, and I wonder if we have a chain set up.
I'm sure they've got something more in the works. I'd be looking at Marquez Brownlee here and Scott Shue to be getting the disc in their hands. That last point for Toronto was a McKenzie to McKenzie correction. That was Mike receiving from Ian in the end zone there.
Didn't even have the sense to ask if they're brothers. I assume they are, if it's spelled the same way.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, I think they must.
There's a good chance there's some relation. They look similar enough. We'll have to see. Mac Rushing fielding the pole here.
Clock
And-
starting on the throw, and Scott Jew. The clock will now stop at 30 seconds and beyond for every timeout or out of bounds play or foul.
Brownlee back
Mac
to
Rushing back in the middle. Ryan Forster up to Matt Esser, and
Nice.
Marquez is out front. That's the one you want. Nice hammer. Oh,
And he
very
reels it
nicely
in there.
done.
Esser looking
Matt
at
Esser
Brownlee.
gets his first point of the day on a really pretty throw out there. Nice hammer. It looked like he had an easy flick, and then, being a wily old veteran, Marquez just changed direction, and Matt said, yeah, let me give you the hammer instead.
Beautiful throw from
For
Esser
his
there.
first goal, and we have Philadelphia back at 11 and wanting to shut them down with 29 seconds, which is plenty of time for Toronto to score, seeing as how the Phoenix just did it in 26. And that was a nice point. What did they have, about 6-7 throws there?
Absolutely,
they didn't seem
yeah.
rushed.
Nope, that was a
You
lot
know?
of patience, a lot of
Plenty of time left.
back and forth movement for sure. A lot of quick strikes going backfield, and then taking the upfield space right away. And it was a great throw again from Esser, looking at Brownlee, just giving Brownlee a chance to run onto it in the end zone.
And a nice prediction on your part that Marquez or Scott would get that disc.
Had a feeling there. They tend to be those two offensive playmakers. We got Shue out there.
They're very hard to look off when they get open, right? I mean,
We got
who's gonna
Mott
do
out
that?
here now. I'm sure Mott is out there to play some jump ball defense. Shue on the mark. Upfield here, we've got Armitage at the
Yeah, you
disc.
have Marquez Brownlee down deep, Sean Mott in the middle, but he's headed deep.
Only a
He
couple.
knows there's going to be a huck at the last second.
Got 10 seconds left here for Toronto. Harris upfield to Armitage.
Sean and Marquez have gone to the end zone.
Armstrong with the disc.
They're
There's
just
a
poaching
lot of
back
men
there.
around.
Oh! Oh, look at that. And Armstrong, just having no way to get it off under double coverage, tries to do a swing across field, and while it's soft enough to be held up, it doesn't leave him enough time to catch and throw.
Great
So
trap.
that
from
was a
Philadelphia.
very nice defensive trap at the end of the quarter there, at the end of the half for the Phoenix.
That prevents a goal right there, and that keeps
It
it
sure does. Keeps it at 4.
keeps it at 4 for Philadelphia. So
Not as good as 3, but better than 5.
true. Toronto unhappy with Armstrong, unable to be able to get it off there. They really wanted to at least give one of their big cutters a chance in the end zone. Instead, Philadelphia
I think
forcing a tough throw.
the coach may have been asking, or the captain, whoever was talking to the ref, may have been asking, Armstrong may have been asking head ref J.B. Harrington what we're going to go to half here in just a second, folks. And it looked like they were just asking, was that a quadruple team? Because there were 2 Phoenix behind the thrower, but they were really not involved in that mark. They were marking other guys,
There were a lot of Phoenix players around that
even
disc.
though they were in the vicinity. So the JB said no, and that's that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see you in about 15 minutes. We've got a little halftime going on here, and we'll catch up with you on the beginning of the third quarter here from AA Garthwaite Stadium. Want to thank you for tuning in. And again, this is Bailey Saul and Chris McGlynn here with you. Want to give a shout out to Nick Halliday, Len Evans, and Pat Gary Antes, and Mark Sands on our cameras, laptops, and all sorts of other paraphernalia here, making the magic.
Oh, making us look and sound
we
good.
apologize for not being able to get on the AUDL/Phoenix YouTube channel, but we are up on 302 Sports, also on YouTube. For those of you who want to let your friends know where to go for the second half, we will let you know if we get back on the original channel. Thanks, and see you in a few minutes. Turnover, I'm not going to say what needs to happen because that'll jinx it. Of course, it's up, going deep. Oh!
Alan Hughes with a big grab.
We're not on there, Mark, so the receptions are easy. And
Somebody's
so are the
wide open
throws.
over there, but
Marquez closes
Marquez
and
is
takes
there.
it away. Got
Marquez
Nicky
is pushing
Spiva
up
with
the field.
Sean. Oh, Marquez all alone. Spiva
There it is. After another long point, Phoenix able to keep this game tied. He doesn't throw it.
Now he does.
Mott's going deep.
And Marquez going to do that.
Why
I
wouldn't
think
you?
that's a goal, too.
Sean Mott in for the goal.
Another one of those 8-second goals.
Like I said, I mean, keep putting it to that guy until they stop him.
One is the swing, one is the other swing.
Oh,
And a Stuber. Very risky.
yes, sir.
Takes it with 2 hands.
Not in.
Joe Campbell calling it not in. Arcata with 1 foot and the easy flick
that's Paul
to Paul
Kwiatkowski.
Kwiatkowski.
Wow. What a ballsy throw by Nicky Spiva there, putting that scuba up there. 2 players around there on the defense, but great job by Mike Arcata.
Right away. Up
That's
to
a-
Scotty Jew. Scotty goes to
Yes.
Greg Martin with Schaffner on him. Oh!
Yes, sir!
There it is.
Wowie zowie. Greg Martin with a great grab over Markham Schaffner. And that's the break the Phoenix needed this whole entire
Finally.
game. And for the first
Finally,
time
guys.
this whole entire game, the Phoenix are now leading.
Wow.
Arcata's streaking deep.
Oh.
He's going to put it out there. Can he get there? Oh my goodness!
What?
Yes,
He did. He
sir.
caught that.
Quinn Hunziker to Mike Arcata, which is now, I would call it the catch of the game.
I think so. I don't know how that managed to slide in there.
Dude, full extension.
17.
Fielded by Paul Kwiatkowski and Nicky Spiva.
Oh, and Nicky Scott Bradley deep.
Wow.
Against Del Rico Johnson.
That's the matchup.
Oh,
my
there
God.
it is. Woohoo!
Yes, sir.
What a play. Well, I asked for it. I got it.
You absolutely did. Some would call it the caster's curse. In this case, it's the caster's gift. And Spiva shoots
Marquez.
deep to Marquez, who skies Del Rico Johnson for the score.
Campbell marking it for him. Kwiatkowski is in on the stall now. Needs to get rid of it. And he puts it long to Sean Mott.
In double coverage.
Double coverage.
Mott's going to come down with it. Wipes
On
the
at
defender on the
9.
way down. That's a
And
scooper.
Scoober.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Sean Mott. Help yourself.
boy. Mike Arcata? Looks like it.
Boss with Sean Mott.
Back within one again at 7-6. Just the right time. Oh!
There's Scotty Zoo with the D.
There it is.
He's going.
That's Scotty Zoo. Big leaping.
Right now, you just want to hold this disc.
48 seconds. Of course you do. There's no need to score. You're leading. Just run the game out.
Absolutely.
And an intentional foul is an unsportsmanlike. It's you're subject to ejection. In the middle, over to the sideline.
Right
Mattis,
after that,
all alone.
20 seconds left.
Nobody there. See your dumps. See your dumps. Don't get stalled. Just have somebody catch it with 6 seconds left. Because the refs are not going to let the defense benefit from a foul.
Coming in. Clock started late there.
Yes, well, it started on the throw because it was a timeout.
Right.
Marquez, all alone. 4 seconds. Just hold it.
And that's the game, folks. Philadelphia Phoenix, their second win of the season. Over the DC
What a
Breeze.
game, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
22-21. Harrington has waved the disc in. The clock is started. Scotty Zoo launches it for Marcus Brownlee. Woo! Cross to number 28, Mr. Katz. Intercepted by Marcus. Ooh! Down at the goal line, just inside. Ooh, nice rundown by Marquez. Pull that in on the far sideline. Ooh! Very pretty. Marcus Brownlee all alone. And speaking of all alone, on this sideline with a big flip for Sean Mott all alone. To Spiva in the middle. A nice big flick. Marquez is on the loose. And Brownlee easily into the end zone for a goal. 2 throws. That's about as economic as it can be done.
Will looking deep, finds his homie Sean Mott, 81. Layout goal.
And speaking of all alone, in the end zone, is that Sean Mott? Across the middle to Sean Mott. Big backhand. And he's looking for Will Haney. Manganelli, who pops it long to Sean Mott, who is not going to be beaten to that disc. Very pretty. Over the middle to Sean Mott. Easy hammer. Marcus Brownlee on this sideline with a big flip for Sean Mott all alone. Oh, Sean, how does he do that?
Bounces it to Will looking deep, finds his homie Sean Mott, 81.
Back to Nicky Spiva on the dump pass. Will Haney at midfield with a big flick. And that is Arcata lick across the middle to Sean Mott. Big backhand. And he's looking for Will Haney. Reads that beautifully. Ooh. And there it is to Will Haney. And the fake and then the backhand Sean Mott to Will Haney.
Big shot.
Travel occurs. Oh! Intercepted. That's back to...
Oh, great layout D by Will Haney.
Not to... Andre Arsenault with the disc from Montreal. A big crossfield hammer. Will Haney gets his hand on it. This is Bailey Saul talking with our player of the game, Marquez Brownlee, tonight.
Thank you.
Got to be a gratifying win for you guys. Huh?
Definitely a grind. Great to have a home win on as well as a road win, but it was grind because we ended the half down 1, made some adjustments, stepped up defensively, and got a game 7 block from Scotty over here. So we're good to win here.
I imagine it must have, especially against the
Division has some crazy wild cards and people like you for parity. I think that applies here. Any team can beat any team anywhere on any weekend, so we knew that coming in and we just had to give it all and fight.
It was great to see that tonight. I know there's a mix of frustration at not converting so many of those turns early in the game, but
you guys hung in.
Yeah.
And that was the critical thing. Nobody.
Yeah, that's what we talked about at half.
Yeah.
We got enough turns. We just have to keep earning turns.
Isn't that Cherry Katzenbach's favorite saying, embrace the grind?
He likes to say to embrace the grind. Shout out to him, even though he's not here.
Cherry,
We did.
we missed you this week. Marcus had 2 goals, 3 goals, 2 assists, and 2 big Ds yourself. Congratulations on player of the game. We'll see you here next week. And congratulations on a Phoenix win by 1 against the #1 ranked DC Breeze in the AUDL East. But they're not going to make it catchable. It hits the ground, rolls. Scotty Zhu picks it up, and Spiva flicks out to the side. 3. Mott with a big pull. And it's beat up. Oh! No, it isn't. It is caught. It is caught. That was Sean Mott to the aforementioned Nelson Oak with a diving reception in the end zone to steal a point at the end of the half. That was a great catch and great heads up to stay in the play. What a play by Nelson Oak. That's going to make the highlights of AUDL this week. And you know Caroline is going to have something to say to Montreal about that, eh? We don't like these last second goals. It is no fun. Player in the Mercer Disc League. Ooh, we've got Mr. Esser out front. He catches that. That is a goal. With 8 minutes left in the first quarter. That was Matt Esser catching the goal. He jumped in the end zone the last second. Player official, it's back in. And a nice fake over to one side and then thrown deep. Oh! Who was that?
That was Greg Martin with a
Greg
big
Martin.
catch.
Terrific grab.
Got up for that one. That's a big conversion for Phoenix.
Fish. Turnover. I'm not going to say what needs to happen because that'll jinx it. Of course, gets up, going deep. Oh!
Alan Hughes with a big grab.
People got on their marks, so the receptions are easy. And
Somebody's
so are the
wide
throws.
open over there, but
Marquez closes
Marquez
and
is
takes
there.
it away. Got
Marquez
Nicky
is pushing
Spiva
up
with
the field.
Sean. Oh, Marquez all alone. Spiva
There it is. After another long point, Phoenix able to keep this game tied. He doesn't throw it.
Now he does.
Mott's going deep.
And Marquez going to do that.
Why
I
wouldn't
think
you?
that's a goal too.
Sean Mott in for the goal.
Another one of those 8-second goals.
Like I said, I mean, keep putting it to that guy until they stop him.
Hunter's the swing, Loney's the other swing.
Oh.
And a scuba. Very risky.
Yes, sir.
Takes it with 2 hands.
Not in.
Not in. Joe Campbell calling him not in. Arcata with 1 foot and the easy flick
That's Paul
to Paul
Kwiatkowski.
Kwiatkowski.
Wow. What a ballsy throw by Nicky Spiva there, putting that scuba up there. 2 players around there on the defense, but great job by Mike Arcata.
Right away. Up
That's
to
it.
Scotty Zhu. Scotty goes to
Yes.
Greg Martin with Schaffner on him.
Oh! Yes, sir!
There it is.
Wowie zowie. Greg Martin with a great grab over Markham Schaffner. And that's the break that Phoenix needed this whole entire
Finally.
game. And for the first
Finally
time
got it.
this whole entire game, the Phoenix are now leading.
Wow.
Arcata's streaking deep.
Oh.
He's going to put it out there. Can he get there? Oh my goodness!
What?
Yes,
He did. He
sir.
caught that.
Quinn Hunziker to Mike Arcata, which is now, I would call it the catch of the game.
I think so. I don't know how that managed to slide in there.
Dude, full extension.
17.
Fielded by Paul Kwiatkowski over Nicky Spiva.
Oh, and Nicky's
Scott Brownlee D against Delrico Johnson.
That's the matchup.
Oh my God! It is. Woo-hoo!
Yes, sir.
What a play! Well, I asked for it, I got it.
You absolutely did. Some would call it the caster's curse. In this case, it's the caster's gift. As Spiva shoots deep to Marquez, who skies Delrico Johnson for the score.
Campbell marking it for him. Kowski is in on the small now. Needs to get rid of it. And he puts it long to Sean Mott.
In double coverage.
Double coverage.
Mott's going to come down with it. Wipes his
Sean at
defender on the
9.
way down. That's a scoober.
Scoober.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Sean Mott. Help yourself.
Yeah, boy. To Mike Arcata. Looks like it.
Close with Sean Mott.
Back within one again at 7-6. Just the right time. Oh!
There's
yes!
Scotty Zoo with the D.
There it is.
He's going.
That's Scotty Zoo. Big lead.
Welcome back. We are here in just outside of Philadelphia, AA Gaithwhite Stadium here. We are just getting ready for the second half to get underway. Philadelphia trailing 11-15 at the half. We've got Toronto set to field the pull here at a half, I believe. Philadelphia sending out what seems to be their pretty consistent O-line here, so I guess we got Toronto on defense. We got Manganelli, Hunziker, Forster, Honan, Katzenbach, Mott, and Klimkowski here, set for Philadelphia. It's been a strong first half for both teams. We saw some good performances out of Marquez Brownlee and Sean Mott. Mott with a goal and 3 assists. Brownlee with 2 goals to his name. Scott Shue with 2 goals himself. Toronto side, we had Ian McKenzie, we had Isaiah Massick-Kelly, and Steve Armitage carrying most of the offensive weight. Each of them with 3 points in this one so far. Definitely a strong start from Toronto. We'll have to see if Philadelphia can weather the storm here and get back on track. They've looked good at times. They've tied it up and they've kept it close. End of the second quarter, though, was not the strongest.
Well, as somebody wiser than I once said, the critical component to any kind of athletic competition is belief. And I think the Phoenix this year believe that they can play with pretty much anyone.
Absolutely, especially after last week.
And Andrew Manganelli, Quinn Hunziker, Ryan Forster, Paul Klimkowski, Will Honey, Trey Katzenbach, and Sean Mott are going to try and start it off on the right foot. Paul to Sean over the middle. Sean looking deep for a second for Will Honey. Manganelli got a nice lead out there.
Really
Quinn
tight
Hunziker in the middle of the field.
Really tight
Sean
field.
Mott. Oh, nice little
That's a foul there on
floaty
Toronto,
thing
for
out to
sure.
Quinn Hunziker with a little contact foul.
We saw Zlatić going up
On
there
the
trying to
catch.
get the D, but Hunziker boxing him out and taking a whole lot of contact in the process. Up to Mott.
Easy to Quinn Hunziker. Not in. Down at the 2. Now looking for the swing or the dump. It's going to get tough. Oh, he tries to slide it to Trey Katzenbach and gets hammered to the turf. Oh,
Great D there from Toronto on the goal line,
really,
denying
really
Philadelphia.
tough to get that.
Good
have
D
that
though from
right
Philly.
at the end of the play.
We got a huck here looking for Mike McKenzie, Manganelli, and Mott in the area. And Manganelli comes
Just
down
takes
with
the
it.
disc.
I believe there's going to be a pass interference call on
boy.
Mott. I don't know if I agree with that one there. It's been pretty well officiated to this point, I'd say.
No, he has to. That's a foul for delay of game because he, after a foul, you cannot start play until it's whistled in by the ref. And we have Dan Spicer now playing the trail ref on this end of the field. Brief conversation between J.B. Harrington and Dan Moroski.
What do you think there? Was that pass interference there?
It looked like it was pass interference on Sean Mott, even though Andrew Manganelli swiped the disc. They're saying that he didn't. I think they're.
The argument probably is that McKenzie still would have had a play on if he was interfered with by Mott. So.
Yeah, I think that is, and I think Moroski may have had a different view of that, and he's chatting it over with JB. And this is one of those things where you have to stop the clock again and figure out what's going on.
I want to see these guys get it right, though. I want to see these guys get it right.
Okay, it is going to be at the 10 then. McKenzie brings it in with Manganelli marking him. And Quinn Hunziker on the dump. He's having a hard time finding a way to get rid of this. Finally does it. Swing out to the side. Will Honey with Zlatic. Zlatic drops it back. So close. Paulie Klimkowski had a look at that, but just couldn't quite get there.
Instead, it's Toronto coming out with a break out of half. That is a tough break for the Philadelphia Phoenix.
It really is a heartbreaker to lose it at the 1. I mean, that just...
Quinn Hunziker trying to do too much.
This is also one of these instances where Toronto is really clever about the D they put on. They double-teamed Quinn in the corner, so effectively they have the sideline acting as a third man.
Absolutely.
And when you do that, you just limit the options so much. He thought he could sneak it into Trey Katzenbach, who tried to come to the cone behind him, and he couldn't get there. And he knew he was way high in the stall count. He was at 6.5 when he let that thing go, I'm sure of it.
Absolutely. The only thing there, you wonder maybe if he just gives a chance at one of his teammates to go up in the air trying to make a play.
Something, yeah, just a cross-field hammer, something to get it up in the air.
Absolutely.
It's also tough to see the rest of the field far away when you're dealing with these two guys breathing in your face.
Yep, different
Mac
line
Russian
here.
Going to pull it in here for Scott Jew out to the right side.
Cannon wide open.
Yeah. Saying, where is it?
Yeah, he really wanted it there. Had to wait a little while. Instead, he bombs it to Scotty Jew.
Scotty Jew down at the 1. He's not in. Marquez Brownlee with him. Easy flick over
That's
to
Sullivan.
Dustin Sullivan. Very nicely done. Well, they make up for it in short order.
I believe there might be a travel called here. It's going to go back to Shu, and he's going to have to go marching back 10 yards. That's a tough one there. I thought Scotty came out to the front of the end zone and tapped it back in. They may be saying that he jumped after he caught it. We'll see.
No, well, he landed at the 1. That's a very tough and strange thing.
Sullivan again with the disc. Mott going upfield. A lot of contact there, but nothing called.
Oh, not in again.
Shu on the goal line once again.
Scott Jew, please, thank you.
And
Scott
there
Jew
you go.
to Sean Mott.
That's Mott's second of the game already.
And Scott's second assist.
So that makes it 12-16 now. Philadelphia still trailing, but closing that gap. It was a hard-fought point there by the Phoenix scoring twice.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Probably the person most mad about that is Dustin Sullivan, who has his goal taken off the board. But in the end, I'm sure if you're a good team player, you support it no matter who scores.
You'd rather make sure they get the score. But
absolutely.
I thought that was fairly clear.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. I guess they were calling. Looked like Zhu was getting called for the travel there on the goal line, ended up being sent back. So in the end, Phoenix still score, and we're about to get ready for another Toronto O-point. Pretty much the same unit we've been seeing from them. Get Armstrong fielding it here, likely putting it right upfield to McKnight. Harris out there as well. Wu downfield with Lindquist. Lindquist looking downfield.
Big backhand.
Big huck. We've got
J.B. Harrington getting out of the way. That is not going to get caught.
Oh, he almost got a hand
almost
to
got
it.
it, but he couldn't quite get there.
Masick Kelly with a massive layout, unable to get his hand
So
under
here we
it.
have Stephen Eng at the goal line at the cone to Casey Startzel in the middle over to Steve Rosso, who goes over to Kenny Wells. Is that over there?
That's
The
Matt
gloves
Esser.
hand- who?
Matt Esser with the disc, and now he's got Greg Martin.
Greg Martin, yes. No, but Kenny Wells is out there, right? Yes, number 2 there.
Yes, Kenny Wells in the middle
That
of the field.
was him
Excuse
with
me.
the gloves.
Excuse me, sorry.
Looking for the release from Casey Startzel.
And we're going to get a timeout called by Philadelphia. So the stall count was rising there on him.
I think you're exactly right. They were
Eileen
worried
Murray
about that.
bailing him out. Starcel got the swing off, but I think just after the timeout it actually been called. So
I think he was okay on the stall, but they got antsy. I think Eileen may have a play. She may have a personnel change she wants to make, but this is an opportunity for the Phoenix to cash in one of these turns.
Looks like we're getting a personnel change
Get it
as
to
well.
within
We get
3. Yeah, they've
Quinn
got that
Hunziker there.
With
Marquez
Will Honey
Brownlee.
and Marquez, they've got the O-line out again.
Pretty much.
Ryan Forster.
O-line with the addition of Brownlee, of course.
Right. And this time Eileen is in the huddle.
He's a pretty good offensive player if I know anything about Ultimate.
I think we can say that.
Yes,
I think
definitely.
We can say that.
Definitely some switches here as well. Looking at the Toronto side, Ojo checks in.
The Phoenix Player of the Week last week. I hear they made a little video of a little post-game interview we had, and they interspersed it with his highlights. He had 2 great Ds.
I'm going to say he's probably got plenty of those.
And he had, I think, 2 assists and 3 goals to go with his 2 important Ds. And all the Ds were important last week. But
1 point win, it always is.
Marquez, of course, given his length and height, is often getting Ds in the opponent end zone, which is good stuff.
They are poaching Sean Mott under here, which I'm not sure if that's the best decision. We'll have to see if Mott makes them pay for that right away.
Well, they'll probably let Marquez's guy go with him if he goes deep.
Sure, true.
Right, so that's what happens. Marquez
And there's
cuts up.
Mott right away.
Mott in the
underneath.
middle, Marquez by himself. I'd say yes, Sean Mott to Marquez Brownlee.
Another one of those connections.
We may have had a play called out there just to make sure that everybody knew what was going on. Sean with his 4th assist, and Marquez with his 3rd goal.
Exploiting the defense there right away. Philadelphia just drawing both defenders wide, and Marquez Brownlee just beating his man deep. Mott with a great throw as well, putting it out to space where only Marquez Brownlee could get to it.
Right, and they knew what Toronto was guessing, so they had Marquez fake in, which would have led them to believe they kept their D on the goal side of Sean Mott, so he got the easy centering pass. And then kaboom, Brownlee is cutting deep, and you're toast.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
We've seen Mott obviously
exactly
as a great playmaker in the end zone. Obviously, he's a huge aerial threat, but he's a really good handler as well. He's got 4 assists in this one already.
And Greg Martin with a nice pull out there with Matt Esser. And is that Casey Startzel powering down there with Steve Rosso to
absolutely
make sure Toronto doesn't get any free throws.
And yep,
and
right
they
away.
Have a turn at the 15. Matt Esser picking it up at the 11.
Cam Harris on the mark.
Looking around, big hammer. Who is that? Casey Startzel, who weren't.
Oh, excuse me, that's
Ken Wells. Again.
Ken Wells, wide open in the end zone.
Ken
Quick strike.
Wells from Matt Esser. A 2nd goal for Matt Esser.
Would you look at that? We're at 16-14 now.
Assist,
2 quick strike goals. That's 2 breaks, I believe, from Philadelphia right there to get them back within 2.
That is, you are correct, Amundo.
Absolutely.
Nice thing. We're
Esser,
back down to 2.
Another hammer from Esser as well.
Got to believe, yep. Another goal. That's right, a hammer goal from Esser.
And I'm not sure exactly who that was on the first throw there for Toronto, but it was just not enough oomph on it for sure. Just left it well short.
Yeah.
And it was a sprinting in cut. There was not any question as to whether or not he was making the effort to go get it. It was just
right,
a
I think
poor decision.
He missed the angle on that. It was a little too blady, and part of what remaining cross breeze we have
Picked it
helped
up.
power that right to the ground.
Yep.
Yeah. The throw was too low and too blady both.
Martin pulling again here for Philadelphia.
A nice cross-field pull that's going to land in the end zone 5 yards deep.
Great pull.
They don't cover the first throw, but they're there for the second at the 6. From who else?
McKnight.
Oh,
Looking deep for
and-
Lindquist. Nardelli there for the D. Lindquist going up. And
No. You're not going to get that, my friend. No, you're not.
Oh, that's going to be pass interference, though, it looks like on Philadelphia.
I don't agree with that. I think he was trying to get a strip. And to get a strip, you have to have stopped rotation.
True. And it looks like
But Nardelli must have given it up.
Nardelli
So we got to defer
on the
to
mark
his
here.
reading of the play.
Up.
Spirit
and
call.
that is going to be a layout goal for Toronto. Huge bid. Scott
They're
Shue
starting to
trailing
get a
there.
little pressured now again.
Yep. Cam Harris with the goal there.
But unfortunately, back to 3.
Harris's 3rd goal of the evening. It's been a crucial part of this Toronto offense. Scott Shue getting great chase there. It was floated out to space there by the Toronto player who just not enough for Shue to get a chance at it.
And you can see that Philly is beginning to amp it up. Again, we have our O-line out there of Ryan Forster, Will Honey, Sean Mott, Quinn Hunziker, Trey Katzenbach, and Paul Klimkowski with Andrew Manganelli.
Good old freshman in there at the end of the line.
Yep. So you basically have the old Mercer County plus Trey and Ryan.
Yep.
Oh, and a big loopy pull that's going up left and coming down right.
We'll have to
on
see if
our
it stays in
near
bounds.
sideline.
Just gets in
Bounds
there.
At about the 15. Ryan Forster picks it up easy to Trey Katzenbach at the 25. Back to Ryan at the 35. Wanted a huck there, but holstered. Probably wisely. Trey. Oh!
Remy
It's
Ojo
knocked
with the
away
D.
by Remy Ojo from Trey Katzenbach on a lazy swing pass. Ryan Forster, not what we need at this juncture from the Philly Phoenix.
Mike Jones picks up, breaks around, looks to Mike McKenzie. And
Sits
Ojo
Ryan
wide
down with a
open
nice
in the
fake.
end zone.
Oh,
That's tough
too
for
bad.
Forster right there.
That
That's a
is
tough
too
point
bad.
for him. I believe we got a call, though. It looks like it's coming back, actually. We're not going to have a Toronto goal right here.
We're not yet, anyway.
Yes, not quite yet, anyway. We'll have to see.
We hope not, but we have to get a little D on.
Philadelphia's defense has been solid. They
And
definitely
I
are
think
capable
I
of.
see Quinn Hunziker hobbling off there.
And I guess they're going to uphold the call. I don't know what was going on there. The referee stopped play, and
okay.
it initially seemed like they were going to call that back, but in the end, the signal is a goal. So that is Remy Ojo
Okay.
on the goal on the throw from Mike McKenzie.
Let's keep an eye on Quinn, make sure he's okay. He looks like he's got a calf or ankle thing going on. And coming out now on offense this time,
Different group for Philly for
we
sure.
have Dustin Sullivan, we have Marquez Brownlee, Mac Rushing, Stephen Eng,
Nope.
Scotty Zhu, sorry. Of course, Sean Mott. And is that Ryan or Charlie Cannon at the far end? Looks like Charlie Cannon.
And we, I believe, actually have Colin Konash in there as well, right next to Cannon. Yep, that is Cannon on the end.
Yeah,
And we got Colin
next
Konash.
to him.
Same defensive line out here for the most part, with a handful of tweaks here and there. Quinn is in for Toronto.
That pull looks like it might have faded back, but it went out of bounds. They're going to do the brick at the 20. I guess it went out behind that.
Yep,
Tough to
Scotty
tell
Shu.
when they're that high.
Scotty Shu taking the disc.
And there it is, right to the middle to Sean Mott. Two deep players.
Looking for Colin Konash. And
And
Brownlee
Marquez
goes up
over
there.
the top from the far side. Yeah.
Skying two Toronto players and his own teammate in the
That
process.
is funny. Marquez just making sure on that one.
And on the way out of the point, he signed a fan's disc. How
That's
about
hilarious.
that? Brownlee, obviously well known in the Ultimate community for everything that he does on the field, but he's also, of course, known for what he does off the field, which is his great YouTube series. He's got MKBHD, his own YouTube channel. It's a
Highly
fantastic.
successful. He is much better known for that, which is amazing because he's such a great player. But of course,
Absolutely.
he reaches people far and wide with his tech reviews that he's been doing for years on YouTube. One of their biggest stars for sure.
Yeah,
And a guy who is actually sought out by these companies. He gets new products sent to him all the time because it's what he does.
He's so good at it.
Yeah, he's got such a great reputation.
Good brand for sure.
Yep, for honesty and straightforwardness and knowledge. He's just a vast resource of knowledge. on
Eng
his
and
product.
Starsill coming down hard on this one here, cutting off the
Nice
first
to
throw.
see. Toronto moves the first play just to the 6 after catching it on the goal line.
Armstrong here upfield right away.
The Phoenix know they have some defensive work to do to get this team unsettled and keep them unsettled. And Toronto trying to be a little shifty on their throwing. Oh!
Esser going up, unable to get there though. Instead, we've got Connor Armstrong with the goal.
Matt Esser had big looks in his eyes. He thought he might have a shot at that thing.
Just unable to close it out though.
Not quite there.
He was poaching up. I don't believe Armstrong was being guarded by Esser. I believe Esser was just peeling off the back. So,
Yeah.
back to a 4-point deficit now for Philadelphia, 19-15 here with 6.5 to go in the third quarter. It's been an exciting one for sure. We've seen a lot of highlight plays. Brownlee with a couple of nice grabs in the end zone. Sean Mott with some beautiful puts.
Yeah. People are doing what they do.
Tam Harris digging out some really nice grabs for Toronto's side. Mike McKenzie and Ian McKenzie connecting on a couple.
And again, we have freshman Ryan Forster, Quinn Hunziker, who must be okay. Paul Klimkowski, Trey Katzenbach, Will Honey, and Sean Mott out there. And you know Trey is talking to everybody.
And I think that pull is going to sail out of bounds as well. Toronto's struggling
right
right
at the
now.
18 or 19, so they'll take it at the 20 again.
Toronto's struggling to keep these pulls in bounds.
They are. It's kind of interesting. As the wind dies down, it seems to get more difficult. Or
Doesn't seem like there's as much up here. Maybe it's more on the field.
They want to put it farther. They're double teaming Paul there, so he just dumps it to Ryan Forster over to Sean Mott on the far sideline.
Wide open to
Gets it
Manganelli.
up to Andrew before any. Oh, a nice big flick to Will Honey, who pauses just a moment and then decides he ought to run that down.
And he does just that.
Very nice work.
19-16 there.
That was a great throw from Andrew Manganelli.
You nail it on the head there. You saw Honing stop for just a second trying to figure out where the disc was. He heard everyone reacting to the disc going up, found it, and raced to the back of the end zone.
Get on your horse, Will.
He did exactly that.
Go catch that thing.
A quick goal there. I believe that took Philadelphia all of 14 seconds to convert.
That's what we like.
Nice, quick, easy score.
Our sound guy had texted me just before the half about or during half actually, asking if he had Pata right, the great Philly Ultimate League.
That's out of bounds from Brownlee on the pole.
That's
sailing
it's
out.
Be a brick at the 20. It's not too bad.
I think it actually might be even past the 20 there,
Oh, was
depending
it?
on where
Oh,
it goes
yeah, the
out.
25.
Roughly the 25-yard line here. McKnight picking it up.
Thinking it's up at the 30, of course.
Looking to try and get a couple more yards out of that.
He thought it might be Philly Athletic Disc Association, which was pretty good, but Philadelphia Area Disc Alliance is very large.
Pata.
Pata.
This is commonly
very,
known.
very well known.
Bureau upfield now,
And a
finding
great
Lindquist.
setting down there on the Belmont Plateau.
Lindquist in trouble, finds Armstrong.
Dustin Sullivan marking him for that 5-yard loss.
A lot of quick handler movement here, but
McKnight
not much
with
going on upfield for Toronto.
Little soft J coming back toward the sideline there.
Cam Harris at the disc now.
A big flick. Oh, just
Lindquist
caught
reels it in.
by one of the McKnights.
Bureau with the disc now just outside the end, so we'll have to see what ends up happening here. And that is going to be a travel call. Travel call indicated by the official on the far side, and that's going to be 10 yards lost for Toronto. Scotty Shue on the mark for Philadelphia.
Yep, there he is. Oh, and a little scoober.
Colin Konish going up, unable to
doesn't get
get
him.
there. He's not in the end zone, though. Harris is not. Not quite yet. And that's a travel now on
Another
Harris.
travel. Interesting.
Harris does not like the call.
The ref is, I think he wanted contact. I think he felt like he was
Colin
getting
went through his
bumped
back.
around a little bit. But disc is in.
Swinging across
Toronto
the Bureau
was
again.
being kind of shifty as soon as that whistle blew to try and get it up there.
And Armitage with the goal. That is his 4th of the afternoon now on the assist from Bureau. And that's going to make it 20-16 now.
4-goal lead. Goodness.
Really solid offensive point there. A little bit iffy there for Toronto towards the end. A couple travel calls forcing him back. An interesting scuba throw there. Colin Konish almost got
he
to.
did that. It was like the whistle was sounding as he let it go. It was almost before the whistle in. But the Phoenix, it seems, are amping up the defensive intensity.
Definitely.
Scotty Zhu not getting back to the line very quickly there with Ryan Forster, Quinn Hunsker, Paul Klimkowski, Will Honey, Trey, and Sean. And once again, going to see if we can bring it within 3. They've got to
Philadelphia
get
is hanging in there.
some breaks here. They got to get 3 breaks to get back in this thing.
Toronto finally pulling it in bounds after a couple in a row going out.
Paul at the 15 with an easy flick to Trey Katzenbach at the 20. Wants the scuba but doesn't go with it. Little flick to Scott Zhu at the 30.
Hunziker streaking deep, but he doesn't throw it.
There's another guy. If I can get the disc to him, I'm going every time.
Oh, you can get him too. Sean Mott
Yeah,
elevating
Sean
there
to
to get it.
Quinn in the middle. Quinn checking the field out. Dump to Sean on the dump swing. Ryan Forster
Lot of
submarined.
contact.
A little contact there. He'll pick up another 10 for that.
Jarrett Marin laying out there, just unable to get to the disc and instead
Toronto
going
30.
Disc is in. Forster almost. Oh, and another tip away by
Poached deep
Toronto.
by Brett Tan there.
Little too easy. Scott Ju couldn't get there.
Win with the disc now. Upfield. Looking for McKenzie, elevating to Huynh.
Turns at this point.
Little elevator pass from McKenzie to Huynh. Huynh now playing catch along the sideline. Boychuk double team here from Philadelphia. Katzen back on the mark now after they break the double team. And that's too easy.
Yeah.
Philadelphia with miscommunication there. And instead it's a quick goal there. That is Paul Tatulia with the goal for Toronto. Rather uneventful point other than the D. Brett Tan with the D, in case you missed that one earlier in the point. Is now 21-16. That is the 21st point for Toronto.
Really, that one was thrown by Marin.
Really strong showing from
we
that
see on the
D-line
replay.
offense.
Yeah, a little too easy.
Yeah.
But that's, you know.
Philadelphia made it hard for them with the trap on the sideline. They went the double team, but then after the double team was broken, there was definitely a miscommunication about
The
who was supposed to
second
pick up.
fingertip block.
Yes.
This quarter by Toronto. And as a result, the lead is back to 5. That's one of those things, you know, 2-point swing that way.
Absolutely.
Could be down to 3 or 2.
Massa Kelly with the pull. Fielded by Cannon. Up to Rushing. Nice inside throw from Rushing. And, Marquez Brownlee downfield looking for Andrew Maganelli. And that is, that's Colin Konash. Easy goal for the TCNJ product.
Very nice.
Going up to get it.
Very nice play, and that's Marquez's first assist.
Great snag there by Konash in the end zone. Two-handed grab. And like that, it's 4 again.
With the middle syllable in Colin's name, like Kokonash or something. Oh. And I think we're going to have Greg Martin pulling this one.
Sean Mott checking in for a D point.
Ah.
We'll have to see what he brings to the
We're
table here.
anticipating either a turn or an end zone steal, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Sean Mott loves to get up there to do that.
And he is often underestimated because of his size.
I don't think anybody's doing that to him anymore after
some
of the highlights
true.
he's put on this year.
They know he has the verts, but they may
Great
still
pull
go
from
to a
Martin.
taller player thinking he can box them out.
Yep. McKnight
This is
with
not,
the disc.
He's not a heavy guy either. He can be muscled around if he's not careful.
Very deep stack here from Toronto.
But, of course, big yards on an easy swing. So
Yep, and we get a shot right there from Harris to Lindquist.
15 and 10-yard pickups.
Massa Kelly with the disc in the middle of the field,
Flicking
hucking it
out.
deep, looking for Armitage. Armitage running onto it, and he is going to reel it in. That's going to be a goal
They have
for Toronto.
such nice pace on their throws to the end zone.
Beautiful flick huck there from Massa Kelly. And that was a nice goal from Armitage. That's his 5th of the afternoon. Oh, I guess evening at this point, but still a 5th goal of the contest.
I don't think I've seen them overthrow anybody, maybe except once. I can't.
No, they've underthrown a handful. That's been eaten up for the most part by Philadelphia. And I guess the only one we've really seen that was an overthrow was Cam Harris's layout attempt in the first half.
Right. Yeah,
Coming
he
up
couldn't
just
quite
shy
get
of
there.
getting that
Right.
one. But for the most part, you're right. Toronto has been very good about weighting all of these throws. They got a very strong handler core led by McKnight and Armstrong. And then Massa Kelly seems to be their guy who, once they get him into some downfield space, he's more than willing to take a shot.
So our offensive line is out, the same one we started the game with. And Ryan Forster takes it 2 yards deep in the end zone. Easy backhand to Paul Klimkowski at the 18.
Streaking Mott.
Little backhand to Mott at the 28. Double teamed with a scuba to get away to Quinn Hunziker. That's something Sean is not going to let happen anymore, I don't think. The frustration of a double team. Little backhand out in the flat for Sean to pick up. He pops it up to Will Honey at the 34. Oh, and another one almost got taken away, but Trey Katzenbach closed in on it and took it away.
Jackie Howe with the D
Quinn
there.
Hunziker cross field.
Throwing
Sean
over Mott.
Mott ducking, knowing that was going to someone else, thankfully. Back to Paul Klimkowski. And in the middle, Sean Mott looking for somebody downfield to move. Triple teamed. He's putting it to the back of the end zone for Andrew Manganelli. Easy goal.
Very easy one.
Sean
for
Mott
Maganelli
with
there.
his 6th assist
to Andrew's second goal and third point.
Very nice rundown by Maganelli. Even better throw, though, from Mott.
Yes,
Just waited
that was-
perfectly to the back of the end zone.
That's the kind of throw we need to see a little more of down in tight. That unhurried, but, definitely beat the D. The D-man gave up because he knew he was toast.
Similar to what we were talking about with Toronto, right? All
Mhm.
these really
Yes.
nicely weighted throws. And Mott always a little bit tricky, I found, watching opponents play against him to mark because he's a lefty. I think
Yes,
some
right,
people
right.
struggle when they match up with him because
It is tough if
he
you
gets a
don't know.
chance to get that
Yeah.
flick off really quick, going to the opposite side of what most expect. D-line back out here for Philadelphia. Greg Martin set the pull.
Cameraman Mark Sands saying we need to get some stops, and he's absolutely right. Oh, I'm sorry. Pat was saying that. Pat, the producer. We're at 22-18. Toronto again, this time 10 yards in their end zone.
Really a little
Out to the
Philly
5,
bias.
covered by Steve Rosso. And we
Wells
got
on the mark.
Kenny Wells back out there on the near side mark.
Once again, Harris at the disc. Massa Kelly here with the disc. He's looking
Already
deep.
at the 35.
Steady swings
Greg
to
Martin
McKnight.
working on him. Back to the 30. Steve Rosso covering. And Casey Startzel making sure to take away that sideline. Mr. Harris, which he does.
Lindquist
Forcing
over
2
Massa
swings.
Kelly. Oh, great bid there
Just
from
scooped up.
Stephen Eng, I believe.
Yeah.
Unable to get there.
That was close.
Massa Kelly up to Lindquist. Lindquist just outside the end zone.
And
About
that's-
15 yards away.
there it is,
Scuba
little
upfield.
Scuba,
Looking at
boom.
Connor Armstrong in the break side corner of the end zone. Esser trailing, unable to get there. And instead, we've got a goal for Toronto, pushing it back up to 5. It is 23-18 there. That's Armstrong's second of the evening. Really nice scuba there to get it over the top and beat the defense. Philly's done well to hold a lot throughout this second and third quarter. They've been struggling to get any breaks, though. We haven't seen a whole lot except for that early run in the third quarter. Otherwise, it's been consistently 4s and 5s.
Just with a minute 31 left. And again, our starting O-line is out.
Jeffrey Howe with the ball for
Marquez
Toronto.
Brownlee and Scotty Zhu added this time. Freshman takes it in the end zone, out to Paul Klimkowski, to Scott Zhu, up on the right sideline. I think they're giving Trey a break there, and Andrew again, Will Honey in the middle, and Sean Mott kind of killing each other's cuts. Oh,
Maganelli clean up field.
he
And
just faked
Mott
Paul
coming back,
Klimkowski out. Mott running down Klimkowski's clearing pass over to the near sideline.
racing that one down.
Oh, there's Trey. Sorry. My bad. And Paulie back in the middle.
Great
little,
break throw.
little air ball up there to
Honey
Will
goes up and
Honey,
get
who
it.
pulls it down, pops it up to Scott Zhu on the right sideline. Back to Will Honey for the dump there, and
Red tan on him.
waiting for some help to Trey, and back from Trey really quickly. Nobody cutting to that side, Scotty Zhu. And now Sean Mott in the end zone trying to get past his man, and he lays off for a minute, which is not something you want to do. Scotty Zhu to Sean Mott.
Brownlee trailing there. You know, if Mott wasn't getting that, Brownlee would. Nice patient O point from Philadelphia.
It was. That's true.
No one looking to push the pace too much. I think the quickest thing we saw was Katzenbach swinging it back to Honey.
That's right. From 10 feet away.
Otherwise, very patient, very well-paced offense from Philadelphia.
And back to 4, so...
Just 30 seconds to go, though.
30 seconds, and here we are again in the 30-second rule, which means the clock stops every time the disc goes out of bounds or a foul is called. And turnovers out of bounds included. Turnovers inbounds, it will keep running. And
Great
it's
pull here, Toronto
not
feeling at the goal
started
line.
until the throw, the first throw, which happens there, and off we go.
McKnight again with the disc. Esser down on him.
Dustin Sullivan. Toronto better be careful. They may not get one off, and they got Brownlee to go deep.
That is not a matchup you want to test.
No,
here in
that's
Toronto.
not going to work out well for you. Oh!
Wu unable to
he
bring
drops
it in.
And with 10 seconds left, swung to the middle.
Konash over to
Back
Sullivan.
to Dustin Sullivan, upfield to Ryan Forster, who's going to pop it.
That's Cannon bombing
Cannon.
it deep, looking downfield. I believe Esser's in the
Oh!
area. And Esser cannot pull it
come
in.
up with it.
I believe
we had
Greg
two
Martin,
guys.
Greg Martin went flying over the top there trying to reel
Looked
it
like
in.
he knocked it away from his own man.
Almost an incredible grab for Martin coming from the far side of the screen.
Oh, that's too bad. I think that clock should have run out. I think it was up in the air when it.
And that'll be the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, that's the end of the third quarter.
We're at 23-19. Philadelphia trailing here.
You should have the whistle up for that, too. When
Going to be a very interesting fourth quarter here for sure. Philadelphia trailing by 4 entering the final quarter. But it's going to be a challenge for Philadelphia to get back into this for sure. It's definitely not going to be easy.
It is, but they've made up 4 goals in 3 goals anyway. In the second and in the third. I'm sorry, folks. We need to drop away for just a moment for our sponsors, and we'll be right back with you for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I loved that you guys talk about cancer awareness, and it's more about body awareness and knowing their own bodies.
And I think ERIC is a wonderful way to bring this into school. You come with a complete program.
The information is good. It's presented in a very professional way. The instructors do an excellent job.
I think the kids overall had a great time. I can see from their responses that they wanted us to get some more Ultimate Discs in the school, and that we'll be playing all the way into the spring and summer.
We really appreciated you coming out. We love the message you guys send.
Yeah, thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Eric, for coming out to the Pittsburgh area. It's a great experience for our kids.
Thank you for sharing your message with the kids. We really appreciate the energy that you've brought, and I really encourage anybody else who might be interested in this program to bring them on in.
Welcome back, folks. We have about 40 seconds until we start the fourth quarter here. Wanted to mention some of Philadelphia Phoenix's great sponsors out here. The Ice Butler over in Fraser, PA. For all your large quantity party and ice needs, they supply all our ice here, both for the fans and the players. There's Austin Printing, who does our promotional work for the Philadelphia Phoenix. And Dr. Andrew Terry, the team chiropractor, who keeps all the kinks and knots out of the players and fixes their boo-boos when they come off the field. And, of course, we have FWAT around the corner. Fingers, Wings, and Other Things. Or who are they? What is the F? Is that Fingers for them? I don't even know. But a great place, our post-game haunt with some of the best chicken fingers and appies in the area, and a list of craft beers that changes every week.
Will that be somewhere you'll be going after this one?
It's a possibility, distinct possibility. Phoenix pull comes down at about the 10-yard line.
Armstrong across to McKnight right away. Now to Harris. Another zone look here from Philadelphia. They're trying a little bit of a poachy look downfield, trying to present.
That was a good catch by Greg Martin there. He started to go deep and then saw that Massac Kelly might get the disc and came back to see that that didn't happen. And now that it does, he closes in on him. Yeah,
great switching downfield. A lot of switching from this Philadelphia defense so far on this point.
They know they have to get some turns here, making them work hard.
Toronto patient so far. Massac Kelly with the disc, looking upfield, finding Burrell.
Oh,
right away upfield to Burrell, and Burrell is going to score on the nice assist from Lindquist there. Oh, he's not. He's called out. He's not in the end zone quite yet. Burrell towing on a walk in there, and instead gets it to Lindquist, so Lindquist gets it right back. We'll have to switch that one up. Instead of Burrell scoring, it'll be Lindquist scoring from Burrell. And that makes it 24-19 now. The first goal of the fourth quarter here for either team. Another quick strike goal there from Toronto once they get through that initial zone look from Philadelphia. Philly doing well to force Toronto into a lot of throws, but just unable to really get a turnover quite yet in this one. It's been tight. It's been very, very congested in a lot of areas in the field, especially when they're running that zone. Lots of switching, lots of communication going on downfield. Just not enough to get a turn, though.
But I think Toronto getting a lot more than they bargained for here. Ryan Forster at the 4. Up to Paul Klimkowski, who's back on over to Quinn Hunziker on the near sideline.
Cats and back streaking deep, coming under.
Cutting back. Paul in the middle, Ryan Forster, and Sean Mott on the far
and
sideline.
Honey is unmarked.
Into a little double team, a Scuber. Thankfully, Andrew Manganelli turns back and gets that from a little three-point stance to change direction.
Honey
Sean
in the end
Mott.
zone.
Oh,
knocked away.
no. Another too easy throw.
Paul Tutulia peeling off the front of the stack there to get the
just
D.
smacks that thing to the ground.
Streaking deep here is Mike McKenzie. Quinn Hunziker giving chase. It's floating up there. Hunziker getting a chance at it. And he goes up and snags it.
Eats it.
Unfortunately.
Quinn Hunziker, I hope he didn't land badly because that was a heck of a D.
And that does not look good for Hunziker. He's staying down on the ground right now. McKenzie helping him up. Looked like he might have rolled that ankle as he came
got
down.
that so easily.
A massive sky there.
He may have landed on him for a sec. He's laying down right at the goal sign.
Definitely looks like an ankle based on how
And the Phoenix trainer, he may have a calf cramp. Yeah, the way he's hoisting that leg, that looks like a cramp to me.
Incredible grab nonetheless.
Somebody
Toronto
get that
making
boy
a
some
swap
fluid.
here. Toronto making a swap here. Brett Tan coming in on the defensive effort for Toronto, matching up with Marquez Brown.
Yeah, chocolate milk. Get him some chocolate milk. Is
There
that
you
Paul
go.
Klimkowski picking up the disc?
It is. Paulie's on the sideline there, looking upfield to Mott right away.
Oh, the nice scuba back to Paul. Oh, he fakes the deep. Brownlee goes deeper. I would look for Marquez in the middle there, but he's not open. Oh, no!
Oh, a huge layout bid.
This is another underthrow by Sean Mott.
That's a great D right there from
Oh,
Marin, and he'll
goodness
dish it
gracious.
into the end zone, and that is going to be a goal for Toronto. I believe that's Boydchuk on the goal for Toronto. A really, really nice, really nice bid right there from Marin, though, to get the D, knock it away. Like you said, a little bit underthrown from Mott.
Yeah, he just did not anticipate the man being that close, and he put a little sharper angle on that than he wanted. It's, you have to. Sean knows better, too. He knows to fake, to get the guy moved or in the air, and I just don't see him doing it. That's 4 turns for him on short throws or overthrows.
That was Boydchuk's first goal of the day for Toronto. Gets them now to 25-19.
And I'm not one to give out a turn if a defensive player makes a great layout D, but he's had a couple just knocked down because they were right to the guy. So
Still an incredible bid there from Marin to get that one back.
Yeah, that was a great D because it wasn't anticipated. Dustin Sullivan
Underthrowing it. Mike
underthrowing
McKenzie
to
grabbing
Mike
it.
McKenzie. And he's going right back, and that is not, yes it is, going to get caught.
Cam Harris tracking it down. McKenzie getting it and then boosting it right to the end zone, floating out to space, and Harris turning the Jets to reel it in. And all of a sudden, Philadelphia is down by 7.
How quickly the worm turns. We wanted it to go from 4 to 3, not 4 to 7, 4 to 1 rather, not 4 to 7. But we're hoping it'll change directions here pretty quickly.
McKenzie doing a great job there to run that one down. Probably an ill-advised throw from, I believe that was Dustin Sullivan on the sideline here for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He just tried floating it out too much into space there for Cannon. Cannon had McKenzie beat, but the floating nature of the throw gave McKenzie plenty of time to get underneath it.
He just needed a little more air on it to come back in bounds further up, and it didn't quite make the corner, but that was a very nice read by McKenzie to get it.
And so we got Ian McKenzie here with the pull, going straight up there.
Boomerang pull there.
I mean, coming back relatively short, but it's going to give Toronto plenty of time to get underneath it. Get down
to
that.
28.
crossing over to Scott Zhu and coming out to Will Honey, who's fakes the big backhand huck. Does not go with the cross-court flick because...
And instead looking to trade Katzenbach downfield. Paul Tutulia giving chase.
Oh,
Katzenbach going up to get it.
Goal. That's a fan favorite right there.
Trade Katzenbach still showing that he has got it.
And that is an example from Will Honey of a really beautifully placed ball. I mean, just right. Trey gets that at the last moment that he can. You see the deep is actually in front of him, and Trey goes up behind him and just snakes the disc away before the double team can arrive.
And do not let anyone tell you that Trey Katzenbach is still too old to play in this division. That right there is an excellent display of what he's still capable of.
Yep.
Veteran
Like
move.
his calm head and
Absolutely.
handling skills on the field. I mean, have we seen Trey drop anything in a decade or so?
Not that I've been watching.
I don't remember it.
Excellent play there to box out the smaller defender and go up and get it.
So back within 6. Finally having broken that 3-goal run by Toronto.
Excellent pull from
with
Martin.
A nice pull going into the end zone.
Armstrong fielding going right to McKnight, as we've seen all night from them.
Rosso and Startzel putting on their typical instant coverage. But Toronto already up to the 35.
Massakelli with the disc here. Great inside throw downfield to Armitage. Back to Massakelli now. Cannon guarding him.
Cannon is just missing those quick release low flicks.
Oh, and a great throw there from Lindquist to beat Martin to the break side. He finds Armitage for his 6th goal of the night. And that is tough for Philadelphia. They did a good job pressuring, but
They
it
really
was
did, and those throws were not by a lot, but they were by just enough.
it was a great throw there from Lindquist to get it off on the sideline. Getting it off on that break side and giving his player an opportunity to run onto it.
Oh boy, oh boy. Well, we got to score quick and break quick. That's what's going to have to start happening here.
Yeah.
We got the old reliable O-line back out there, but with Scotty Zhu this time in for Trey.
Oh, Katzenbach's there on the end,
Oh,
I
is he?
believe.
Okay.
He's there on the end. I can't tell whose shoe is in for yet, but he is.
Freshman is still out there, right? You got Ryan Forster and.
Oh, Quinn Hunziker went down with the.
went down,
there you
right.
go with the calf injury. So that's probably who he's replacing right now.
Sean Mott, Will Honey. And Ryan will take it, as he often does, over to Klimkowski. Oh, right between 2 defenders to Scott Zhu.
Looking for Katzenbach deep again. Not going to give it to him this time.
Little
Instead.
scuba to Sean Mott. That was very pretty.
Oh, and
Just what he
Katzenbach's
had.
wide open across the field, though.
And this is also something you don't want to see if you're Toronto, is Trey Katzenbach with time standing at your 10.
That
Over
is
to
a
Will Honey.
dangerous prospect for other teams. And we're going to a contact call, it looks like, on the mark. And it's going to be walking up. Honey's going to walk it all the way to the goal line.
Yeah.
Just shy of it, excuse me.
Pretty much to the 1 or half-yard line. And the play is in.
McKenzie on the mark.
This is another one of these places that makes me a little nuts because you never know what's going to happen in close. Trey in the middle. There we go. Thank you,
And
Trey Katzenbach.
freshman Maganelli, Andrew Maganelli with a goal there.
Maganelli. And that is Trey's first assist. So now he has 1 of each. And it's Andrew's 3rd goal against 1 assist.
Having a really solid night, freshman is.
He is.
3 goals and an assist.
He's been big in every offensive successful point handling too. He's in all these plays. You know, he's finding open space. And I may be mistaken, but I think he's gotten faster over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. You see, it's fine. I believe, if I'm correct here, Maganelli tore his ACL, I believe, 2 years ago.
Oh, that's right.
And so I think he's finally getting back into playing shape, really able to run full speed, and he looks quick out there for sure.
He does. He was that one of those end zone goals. He just left his man behind him. Marquez with a nice big loopy pull that's fading away, but will stay in. Coming down at the 8.
Armstrong across to McKnight once again.
Rosso putting on a heavy mark and a double team with Kenny Wells.
Just getting off to Matthews. Oh, excuse me, to Armstrong. Harris with the disc, bombing it deep, looking for Massakelli. Cannon giving chase. Oh, and Massakelli just snagging it out.
That's one of those instances, if Cannon was a young player, he swung at that just as the disc came in. And if I was his coach and he was a younger player, I would tell him, don't swing at the disc, Charles. Catch it. play-o, because when you swing at a disc, you've only got a moment where your hand and that disc intersect. But if you go to catch it, your hand is staying in the same area as the disc for a much longer period of time, and your chances of making at least contact, even if you don't catch it, are much higher. But he rightfully knew he was in that play.
That's a really tough D, though, for
It is.
because of the throw from Harris. A beautiful
The
throw.
was excellent, but just
Give him
a
plenty of
half inch.
space.
If he had gotten that, could have been one of those little fingertip boink Ds, you know. Taking a swing at that, it's gratifying when you can smash a disc, but when you think about how fast a disc is going through one plane of space and how fast the hand is coming down through a perpendicular space, it's only a nanosecond or two where they intersect. So you got to be just exactly right.
Yep, that's a tough opportunity there missed for
Andrew on
Cannon.
the pull out to Paul Klimkowski. Andrew back again. Up in the middle, nice shot to Sean. Up to Trey, who's also in the middle, 5 yards further. Dump back to Sean.
Looking to Honey deep, and they ended up holstering it. Had a lot of space to work. Oh, Hunziker's back out there, though. Good to see Hunziker get the run back.
That
And
was easy.
nice goal to Honey.
Was that from Sean?
It was
I
from
think
Mott.
it was. Yes, Sean Mott.
Is that his 7th of the night?
It is.
7th helper of the night for
Assist
Sean
against
Mott.
3 goals.
Having a huge game here, 10 points. And you think about Philadelphia's only got 22 right now, and Mott's got almost half of them.
Yeah, and we have Will Honey out there with, what did he just get?
He just got another one there. I don't know what that is for him on the night, but he's had a few so far.
Am I having such trouble? 42. There he is. That was his goal. So he's 3-3 now.
How about that? He's having a good night himself.
Very big night.
It's different, obviously, than what we were talking about the early stages of the game. We saw the disc pretty much being spread out. The first 7, or I believe 8 Toronto goals were scored by 8 different players. The first 6 Philadelphia goals were scored by different players. And now we're looking at Armitage here, who's going to be on the offensive line for Toronto, who's got 6. We've got Cam Harris with 4. And then we've got Mott with 7 assists.
And Brownlee with a nice pull that's going again out of bounds. But it went out at about the 2, so it'll be a brick at the 20.
The wind is definitely quieted down here. That flag we see in our back end zone is pretty much down, but I wonder if maybe there's just enough that it's pushing some of these pulls out of bounds. We've seen a lot from both teams.
Well, you can see a little movement in the tops of the trees across the field, so there's definitely some breeze coming, but it's coming from that direction.
Absolutely.
So they may
Lindquist
be
upfield
stifling
here.
it.
Looking at Armitage. Brownlee almost bidding. Zhu giving chase now as Armitage hucks it to Wu, and Wu is going to reel it in. Scotty Shu mad that he could not get to that one, that is for sure. But instead, it is going to be another goal for Toronto, making it 29-22 now with 7:23 to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, we knew they were going to score 30, and at this rate, you may even see the Phoenix score 30.
Yeah, plenty of time left.
They just got to get a decent break here, and that play was not it. Those guys, and of course, Toronto, they like scoring, but they don't want to score quite that fast. I guess they're probably getting a little tired. They're 2 men shorter than Philly is out here.
That's for sure. Wu there with his first goal of the evening, as we're starting to get now into the latter stages of this one. Seen a really competitive game from Philly, but we have to wonder if they have enough left in them to make the run here to close the gap in the final minutes.
7:23. I know Trey is telling him love the grind, and he's back out there on with Sean, Matt Esser this time. Will Honey, Paul Klimkowski, and is that Dustin Sullivan taking the pull? I believe it is.
You think so? I think you are correct on that one.
Back to the middle for him.
Up
Trey
there.
is open in the middle as usual.
If there's anybody who enjoys the grind, it is definitely Trey Kathenbeck.
Yeah. Will Honey up the sideline to Sean Mott.
Oh, great cut from Maganelli. Maganelli burning his man deep, and he is going to go up and get it knocked away. There's going to be a pass interference call, though. I believe that is the right call.
Yeah.
And that was Zlatic.
Player is not object. Oh, wait.
Oh, I believe. Oh, I guess
No, it's
we have
a
a turnover. I guess the freshman rescinded the call. Overturned it. That's definitely something we'll see a lot from AUDL players. They'll overturn the referee's call. Great spirit there from Maganelli. Oh, and he gets it right back.
Look at that.
Oh, and he almost gives it right back.
Trey Katzenbach to Sean Mott.
He'll send him a thank you note later, I'm sure.
Is that Esser? Yes. And
Mott
Crossing
downfield.
and Mott to Will Honey.
Once again, Honey from Mott.
Here we go.
Really thought that we were going to get that goal initially from Andrew Maganelli going up there, elevating over Zlatic. Zlatic doing just enough to get a piece of it, and instead we've got Mott to Honey again. Philadelphia closing it again. It was a pretty quick goal. We're only taking about a minute off the clock. 6 to go, though. They're going to need to start picking up the pace, and they're going to get somebody of these breaks back.
They got to get some turns, or it's all meaningless. But, I mean, again, they're having a better game than their first one against Toronto, though I know there are several plays they want back.
For
Those
sure.
turns at the 1 and 2 are just devastating in a game like this.
Yeah, it's been very close throughout. It's been one of those ones where even though Toronto has held the lead for majority of the game, they never really had a chance to blow it open. Every time they've seemed to kind of go on a run, Philadelphia's closed the gap just enough to keep it interesting. Armitage streaking deep here for Toronto.
Casey
Still looking there. Still Boydchuk here.
Working the mark very well, and Steve Rosso as well.
Really great D from Rosso. He's really pressuring the dump there.
Intensity back there. Toronto's getting rid of it quickly.
Boydchuk with a huck looking for Jeffrey Wu, and
look how soft it is.
Oh my goodness, what a grab from Jeffrey Wu.
He still has to lay out a little bit, but he caught up to the disc.
Stumbling into the end zone. That's one of those instances where it looks like the player's about to run out of his shoes. Great grab from Wu on a beautiful huck there from Toronto. Just enough space. That's one of those things we talked about. Another great, beautifully weighted huck out to space from Toronto. And that one, it almost seemed like he was going to overthrow him. I really thought that might be the one that was finally going to be an overthrow.
They have no hesitation. They go right at it. And this is part of what makes them so tough.
That's 2 goals now for Wu in the fourth quarter. Pretty jubilant Toronto sideline right now. They're enjoying the fact they're up by 7 with only 6 to play.
And I think part of that is because they were sweating early. They weren't sure how this was going to come out when Phoenix was bringing so much energy.
Absolutely. We'll have to see if they can channel it again.
If we can get another one of these 15-second goals here, they could recapture a little momentum. Paul Klimkowski looking for Scotty Zhu, but goes back to Trey instead. Over to Sean. Is that?
Sean Mott up to Manganelli now.
Manganelli.
Oh, we got Honey cutting deep.
And no, he realizes too late.
Oh, that was a nice turn.
Miscom. It's just
the turn the page cut there from Mahoney. He was cutting over to that backhand side of the field initially and instead made the cut back. Manganelli put it out, but just not floaty enough for Honey to run onto.
Giving him a little more air. On those throws, you have to give your receiver
Oh,
time
beautiful
to
bid
see
from
you
Quinn
too.
Hunziker. Another one. Sean Mott getting a piece of it, but I think that's going to be a foul. Probably the right call there.
Yeah, foul. You're right. Contact.
Some contact there, knocking away from Brett Tan.
Come on now, Shawnee. Get the point block here, buddy.
Tapped in Tan, swing it across here.
Trying to stop that swing. And
Finds Jones.
also trying to stop it, which he does.
Nice switch there between Katzenbach and Klimkowski. Oh, beautifully weighted throw upfield, though. Finding Tatulia. Oh, it was a collision, though, in the middle of the field. Mike McKenzie and Hunziker down again.
Hunziker down.
Same matchup we saw earlier in this game where we saw Hunziker go up over McKenzie and snag it away on the D, and now it looks like another collision here. Hunziker looks hurt. That's tough.
At the very least stunned. Again, the Phoenix trainer out on the field.
And we had a stub in here. I believe that is Casey Starstill coming in here. McKenzie also leaving the field as Massa Kelly checks in for Toronto. Toronto has the right to make that switch because of the injury call by Philadelphia.
Right. So Toronto stacking in the end zone.
Paul on the mark. Straight up line right away. Shu giving chase with a bid, and instead we're going to get Jarrett Marin reeling it in and kick spiking a goal there.
Sure, I like him with his hand on the back of Scott's neck as he makes the catch, but they're not going to overturn it over that.
And that is going to be a tough deficit now for Philadelphia to overturn with just under 5 minutes to play and now an 8-goal deficit. Beautiful grab there from Marin.
I even missed one of them. They come so quickly now. 31-23.
31-23. It's Marin's third goal of the afternoon.
And I guess this is one of these instances where the Phoenix are finding out just how far they need to go to catch up with these guys, but they are certainly not being routed out here tonight, even though the difference is 8 goals. I'll say what I said last week. It's not indicative of the talent difference. It's indicative of some of the mistakes that the Phoenix have made.
Right, and we haven't seen any of those mistakes really from Toronto tonight. They've been very clean on offense. They've been really.
Yeah, they've had one or two drops.
Mott looking deep to Martin here.
And I think.
Oh, and Greg Martin goes up and puts his man on a poster.
That's a
unbelievable
very nice play.
grab. Goes up over. Oh my goodness, that was over Brian Yu of Toronto, and I have a feeling that Brian Yu right now wishes he didn't even try because Greg Martin just absolutely posterized him. Going up for a huge snag.
That was from Sean Mott again?
Of course it was.
Yes.
Who else would it
What
be?
do we got now? 9 for him. Holy cats.
Sean Mott closing in on double-digit assists in this matchup with Toronto.
And we need one more goal up there for the Phoenix on this. No? With 24?
It was 24 now. Yep, 24.
Okay.
We got
I guess I
31,
marked it
24.
already.
Yep.
Well, then I put 25 on there mistakenly, and I'm just going to leave it there because I know they're going to get it.
I'm sure they will before this one's
Let's
out.
get it on a D-turn here. There's 4:35 left. Let's do it now.
And Greg Martin staying in the game now to pull down to Toronto. Philly needs a D. Let's see if this line can
Casey
produce one.
Starcel is staying out there, too.
Trucking it down the field again. He's been one of the more active handler defenders in this game
Forster's
for Philly.
out there. One
Esser
over
almost
offense.
closing enough to get there.
Ooh, Esser again with a low block that almost makes it. Greg Martin almost gets that on a high block.
Bureau with a lefty flick
but not
upfield.
in.
He's definitely out of the end zone here. Armitage pulling it in.
Oh, come on, you were at the 2 when you caught that.
And that's going to be a travel call there
And
on Armitage.
That's contact on Armitage, launching himself into Esser from the 1-yard line. He should have been at the 2 because that's where he was when he caught it, though. Of course, he does get a step or two. But
McKnight putting a nice around flick, finding Bureau again. Great seal there by Stephen Ang, and goes back to the middle. Jeffrey Wu, what's his third goal of the fourth quarter? Wu putting on a show in the closing minutes of this one. That makes it 32-24 now with just under 4 to play here in Philadelphia. That is a tough pill to swallow. Had a couple of close calls there. Matt Esser almost getting a hand to the disc.
yeah, it's just, I feel for Phoenix because some of these plays are so tight and so close, and they're just not getting the breaks today that they did last week. But they're bringing the intensity, and I think that's what's important for them to take away, and that when they do that, it has an impact out here.
Eileen Murray will have plenty of positives to look back on for tonight's game.
I hope so. Paul Klimkowski with Dustin Sullivan on the near side to Will Honey again. And Will holstering, working some nice fakes back to Dustin, who fakes the swing and goes to the middle through to Andrew. Easily up to Sean Mott. Will Honey powering deep, and Sean puts a nice, now that's the way that should be thrown.
And that is a beautiful
Perfect.
throw for Mott's
Perfect
10th
throw
assist
to
of
make
the
his
night.
10th assist, and Will Honey's 5th goal. I think at least 4 of them have been from Sean.
Oh, there's been a number of connections between those two tonight.
Yeah, he may have thrown him all of his goals tonight.
There's a very good chance. Mott's got 10 assists, only half of them.
Yep.
Very possible.
We're back to a margin of 7 with 3:23 left.
Philly switching up the D-line
This
here.
is one of these games. We have 57 total goals where you have to feel for the ref crew. And as the old head ref here, these are the games that would leave me lame for 2 days afterwards with my poor old ultimate besotted knees because you're making so many trips up and down the field.
Absolutely.
And of course, the refs get only the break that they can get by switching out timers. Dave Chaclise up here in the booth with us for the second half, been doing a great job.
McKnight now in the middle of the field, rushing and Stargell double teaming there.
him, yeah, trying to put on a little pressure. Oh, faking.
Rushing do a good job to close down and avoid there being a huck there. Lindquist at the disc now. Another high release backhand from Lindquist. Massa Kelly looking downfield.
Kenny Wells working on Lindquist.
Rosso here on Lindquist.
Not an easy job. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's Wells is on Massa Kelly. That's an even
Massachelli,
tougher
yes.
matchup because
Oh.
Massa Kelly's a very skilled thrower.
And big and rangy. He can reach out around you.
Oh, great bid there from Philadelphia. That was Colin Konish going to get it, unable to reel it in though. And instead we've got Steven Armitage's 7th goal of the evening, and that is going to make it 33-25.
Yeah, he's just starting to bring on Mott-like statistics on the goal side.
Absolutely, yeah, he's really having a strong showing on the offensive end.
And on the replay, as our defender goes down, of course, the thrower gets an easier throw to the end zone.
Konash unable to reel it in on the D.
And who do we have out? Well, I see Scott Jew on the far side, and Marquez next to him, Will Honey getting some air. Sean Mott.
He's had a lot of running to do tonight.
He sure has. Trey Katzenbach and Paul Klimkowski and Andrew Manganelli waiting for this disc. I do think this offensive line is just getting more and more cohesive, and some of these, some of these little mistakes, not all of these guys have been playing together as long as Toronto has.
Definitely not.
With the folding of the spinners and the natural year-to-year changes in these teams, it's really a new team every year in some regards.
Absolutely.
But they're getting better. Trey to Sean Mott here on the near sideline, playing a little catch with Paul Klimkowski over on the far sideline.
Lots of swinging here from Philadelphia.
Yeah, and it's
patient offense.
Opening the field up for them. Marquez with an easy shot to Will Honey, who comes back just in time to get that out of the teeth of the defense. Marquez's 2nd assist and Will Honey's 6th goal.
This has been quite the scoring affair
yeah,
on both
and
sides.
Will is right. I think is he going to stay out on D? No.
Now Honey's going to take one there. Deserved break for him for sure.
But Steve Rosso and Greg Martin and Ryan Forster's back out there.
Scott Shue staying on as well.
You need both those guys for handling.
Matt Esser back out as well.
Another two-way player. Got the experience to do anything that needs to be done. And our lone dual hammer scorer tonight, if not, they weren't quite scoobers, they were actual real hammers.
Oh, absolutely.
And they were really the best option he had at those points.
Putting some nice touch on those throws.
Yeah.
Armstrong fielding it a couple yards into his own end zone.
Always like to see that, almost 10 yards in, but everybody's a little winded now, so the coverage was not quite as tight.
Wide open and putting it deep to Burrell. Burrell beating Zhu and going upfield to Armitage, who's not in the end zone quite yet.
But that guy is.
And that's going to be Massac Kelly hauling it in. That was a quick goal for Toronto. Way too easy for them. There was a little bit of
left.
Looked like a little bit of confusion. I believe Greg Martin was supposed to be on Jeffrey Wu, and I think maybe there was a communication error there as he ran across to try and get on Wu. Wu got a free breakside huck.
On a point that takes 28 seconds or 23 seconds, there's really not time to recover from that.
Absolutely not. Toronto made him pay.
So now Marquez on O this time. Again, Paul Klimkowski, freshman. I think Will is out there holding on to leaning on his knees.
He's dancing with Casey Stargell
Sean
out there.
on
He's
the far
feeling
side,
fine.
Trey in the middle.
Just under 2 minutes to play now in this one.
And Casey down on the end.
Doesn't look like Philadelphia is going to come back in this one, but they've got a chance to possibly stretch their scoreline out to 30. There's plenty of time based on how fast everyone's been scoring.
And they have, they have something to say just about keeping their intensity level up here. Oh! Will Honey just takes that away from the defender coming to meet him at the disc. Thankfully, there was no head-to-head collision.
Brian, you unable to get there for Toronto.
Sean Mott with an easy backhand across. I think Casey just put that up a little closer than he wanted. And Sean Mott again in the middle. Got
Sean Mott, star hammer tonight.
And Casey Startzel, Trey Katzenbach directing traffic from the middle of the field. Marquez coming back to help out now.
Zone look here from Toronto.
Ball in the middle, a nice bladey flick across to Andrew, who puts it up deep to Marquez. No, yes!
And he reels that one in.
Manganelli to Marquez Brownlee.
Throwing it deep to Marquez Brownlee is usually a good call.
It's usually a good call, though. For a second there, it looked like it might...
tail away from him.
Yeah.
Just able to run onto that one. We're noticing, though, if you watch Toronto's defense there on that last point, they've been running a zone look, really forcing Philadelphia to try and put as many throws across the field as possible. It might not get a D, but it's going to force them to chew a lot of the clock up.
Right. Philadelphia actually making pretty easy work of that. If it was earlier in the game, it wouldn't be such a concern, but at this point, as you say, there's just not time with 105 except to get one or two more.
Really strong showing, though, from the Phoenix, no doubt. And obviously even stronger showing from Toronto as they cruise to this one in the end. We thought it might be a tighter game based on what we saw at halftime.
I think the Phoenix will say it should have been, and they're right to say that. They've made a couple too many unforced errors today.
Toronto might even agree with you. Toronto really got a run for their money early on in this game. The early stages, Philadelphia hung with them.
They heard them coming.
Got some early breaks, put some pressure on. In the end, Toronto, I think you can chalk it up a little bit to the chemistry that we've seen from all of these Toronto offensive players.
There's no doubt that their time together as players, both on the rush and on GOAT, is making an impact here. And you know, the guys on the Phoenix have so many other options for club and local league teams that,
that's Stephen Ang, I believe, who went down. He laid out trying to get to that one. And
he might have caught a knee on the head or something.
Yeah, it's Burrell he's marking there. Hopefully he's okay. Mac Rushing checking in here for Philadelphia. I think
he's limping a little bit, yeah.
Ang should be all right. I think he might have just gotten a little bit dazed there.
Mac working the flick, so they have to dump it back 10 yards.
A huge loss there from Toronto.
Steve Rosso on that, another 5 yards back. This is direction you want them going, but they're just burning clock at this point.
Yep. Armitage going up line.
He still has a lot of gas in the tank. Mr. Armitage is like the speed racer out there for them.
Yeah, he's the Energizer Bunny for sure.
Yes.
He's probably going to be in the running for Toronto's player of the game if you have to give him one here. Armstrong downfield, finding Burrell. And Burrell beating Mac Rushing to the break side of the field. Greg Martin there on the mark, unable to seal it off. And that's going to be what will likely be the final goal for Toronto. We only have 10 seconds left in this one. It's now 35-27.
And Toronto, who had scored only 15 in the first half, has upped that by 5 here in the second. Phoenix, who scored 11 in the first half, have now scored 12 in the second. So their consistency is on target, but of course that's on target to be behind by 4 in the first half. So
unfortunately,
yeah, you still want a few more goals or a little better D.
Shouldn't be surprised. Those will be Toronto's 6th win in a row. They've won all of their games by a goal difference of about 8, which is what we're at right now.
Right.
So as much as it is like it's a tough loss for Philly.
Sure.
They played them just as well as everybody else in the division.
That's correct, and again that speaks to the the evening out to some degree of the talent. Since the MLU folded, that's happened a lot throughout the league, I think, in the cities that had 2 teams especially.
That is for sure.
And given that this is where the MLU started, so the whole team went the first time, Klimkowski putting it up in the air to Brownlee or to Will
Brownlee bringing it in.
And that is it. That one will count for the final goal.
Make it 35-28 then. Give Brownlee one last
shot
goal on the stat sheet.
Paul Klimkowski, one last goal there.
Don't forget,
actually, that's his first assist.
Don't forget to give him the assist, that's for sure.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us here. We want to thank Ice Butler and Austin Printing again, and Dr. Andrew Terry and the FWAT, where a lot of these players will be headed after the game. We have the handshakes going on now. Long-standing tradition in Ultimate Frisbee. And I have to thank my partner up here in the booth, Chris McLinn, and all the guys who have helped out here, Nick Halliday, Len Evans, Pat Geriantes, and Marky Sands on cameras. Our owner, George Harris, for making all this possible. The ref crew is limping off the field now. Dave Chiclese, huh? We think we've got to go.
Well, for Toronto, I think I'll do Toronto's MVP for this one. I think we got to go. Stephen Armitage had a great game. He had 7 goals for them and an assist by my tally here. Could even have more on the assist total. Looked great all game. Really ran Philadelphia ragged, getting all over the place and having a really strong showing.
Right, and Sean Mott, we've got to give it to Sean Mott for the Phoenix, because how do you turn a guy down with 10 assists and 3 goals?
13 points of your team's 28 is pretty good.
It's been a terrific game for him and a terrific series of games these last few, even though Marquez got the player of the game last week. He also, again, had a great game tonight with 2 assists and 6 goals. Had Sean not done 13 points, we'd probably be talking to Marquez again. And Will Honey with 3 assists and 6 goals himself. So those are your big 3 for the Philadelphia Phoenix. The final score is 28-35. And another great effort by Philadelphia, just working their way back to excellence here. We hope to see better and better as time goes on. Our next game is in 2 weeks. We'll catch you back here at AA Garthwaite Stadium then, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that might be our Sunday game. I'm not sure of that, but I think it is. Go to the website, and I'm sure it'll be up there for you.
Check out the schedule all the time.
The whole schedule is. And I think that's all we got here. Daryl Stanley and everybody coming last week. So thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time here with the Philadelphia Phoenix. This is Bailey Saul and Chris McGlynn signing off for the night. Take care.